Oh, howdy. Somebody just jump on if it's work. Yep, alright, sweet, don't worry about it. Alrighty.
Yep. What's up?
Okay, I guess it's time. Welcome back, everybody. The IGL podcast. We're back again this week. We actually managed to make it 2 weeks in a row. Bit off this week. We got some public holidays lined up, so we thought we'd, do the show today, have a better show for you all, and hopefully you enjoy. Now, first of all, I'd just like to introduce my friend Reaper. He wasn't here last week, so Reaper, say what's up.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. And the other two, Julian, is he here? Is he just gonna?
Hey.
Oh shit! It worked this time.
Yeah,
And Cookie, of course. Cookie.
What's up?
All right, gents. We get straight into it.
Yep.
I'm very keen.
All right.
Very slow news week.
Yeah.
How
Bit of a
much is
slow
that?
news week, but
It's very various,
Various what?
like just different sort of news.
yeah, we
Not all
just got.
related.
You just go
Yeah,
various.
Stop
Stop.
that,
It's
yeah.
just a various
Sorry, my bad. I thought Ben putting my time in. So thanks.
Just stop. Yeah.
The first fucking lull in a minute.
That's okay. At least I didn't introduce you, and then you go. Just nothing. You know?
Nothing.
You know,
Hey, man.
that hurt last week.
Yeah, and I didn't realize you thought I'd be fucking with you because I thought it would dip straight away.
Yeah, like I just saw you messing with me, and it's understandable. But we're here this week. We're all here. Good, and it's good to see. I'm glad Reba could join us too, man. I really wanted to have him last week, but timing didn't work out. But this week, it's good.
Cheers to have
It's
me
good.
on.
Hey, Reaper, what were you doing last week though? Can you explain what you did instead?
Well, I went to watch Elton John.
Oh
live.
shit! Actually, now that's a good way to start. How was it? I never asked
How
you.
was
How was
that?
it?
Oh, it was amazing, man.
Yeah.
Like someone that to be 75 years old and perform the way he does.
John
is-
Farnham did it better.
All right,
I
all
don't
right.
know, man.
But
Look,
it
I'm
was
not a
amazing.
huge Elton John fan myself,
Bit of
just
hate in the
happen to be
chat, bro.
friends of listening to music. But no, give him props for being that
I
old.
still can
still
not
cool.
believe that Elton John came to Coffs Harbour of all places. I still can't
What?
believe that. Still
Yeah, that's
blows my
funny.
mind.
Just
Real
let me just give you some stats though. He's 75 years old.
Stats, what?
Yeah.
He's 75 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's done 275 shows to this day. He's still got 5 shows left,
Mhm.
and he's been.
280 is a very odd number to finish on.
And
Like, you
wait
think
up,
you'd get like 20 more for 300.
bro, for someone to be doing this in
He
this
might
industry
die.
for 53 years straight and
That's
still sound like he did day one is
Yeah.
phenomenal. To be
He
fair.
might be pushing it. I'm sure he has a doctor and call.
No, I'm pretty sure he's on the IV drip as soon as he finishes the show, but
He probably has one attached underneath the piano.
100%.
Goes straight into his leg.
He didn't leave the piano, so it's probably true.
Can't get up and dance like you used to,
So this is the dude who made Piano Man, right?
This is the
Rocket
guy.
Man.
That's the guy, man. Is it
Oh
not
fuck
piano?
yeah, man!
No,
I
no,
love
no,
that song.
Not Piano Man, Rocket Man. Yep.
Who does the sing us a song? You're the piano man.
Yeah,
Billy, Billy Joel.
Oh, okay, sure.
Elton
yeah.
John, right?
What?
Different
Huh?
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
different person.
So you enjoyed it anyway.
It was a sick show.
How many people
Quick,
do you
ignore
were there?
that.
Oh, there was 53,000 people there.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Fair
jeez.
play.
That's crazy.
That's
Pretty huge.
more than majority of the football matches, any sport matches in Australia.
Put it this way, the whole Allianz Stadium was packed. There was no seats available.
Yeah, not even an A-League and NRL regular crowd could fill that stadium. So
No, you're not wrong.
The only thing is that Scump
Barnell
still beat him.
struggled to fill
Scum
that.
viewership.
Scum still beat him.
Party, man.
I'm sure if Elton John did a Twitch stream, he'd probably get more than 50,000.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the gaming news. I'm glad we covered Elton John straight away. That was great. I didn't expect that for the start of the pod, but Julian actually brought this one to my attention. The Suicide. Sorry.
How scummy are publishers today?
Yeah, that's actually So Suicide Squad, mind you, not out. Leaked. Is this obviously a leaked game footage or a screenshot? In-game image shows off a battle pass in 6 currencies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, I'll read this.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard to understand what that means, but
look, we don't
it
know
doesn't
for
bode
sure.
well for first taste.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. Not gonna. Let's just say put that out right now. But I mean, we've seen a game with 6 currencies before, and it ain't good. And this game's supposed to not be like a live service game, right? It's supposed to be like a campaign that you can play with friends, right? Right?
Even
more
the
confusing.
release of a battle pass for a game like Suicide Squad, I know, like, yeah, it's heroes, but not so much. It's villains, right? And you got a shit ton of cosmetics that you could do from various comics or shows or movies, right? That's fair. But couldn't you just be nice about it?
Can
No,
I just point out something in
Yeah.
regards to something you've mentioned? You said it's supposed to be like a campaign-based one, correct?
yeah, like a.
Do you notice just above play it says matchmaking?
No. Like you're supposed to be able to play it with other people, right? That's the whole
so
idea.
like
But
Avengers.
it's supposed to be like a story, though. Yeah. But like Avengers claim to be a live service game, I think this game claims to be like a story-driven game. No?
Oh, okay. So like co-op mode for Left 4 Dead sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say so, but obviously not open world.
Left 4
It'd be
Dead
really
doesn't have
funny
co-op.
though. Like if you're going to directly
I don't know if
compare it to Avengers, it could be a much better title.
It could be.
Obviously,
looks
we're
great.
playing through that every now and again now, and the more I play it, the more disappointed I get. Learning that you can't fucking even do campaign missions with your friends, so it just takes you out of it. They just want that continuity, not like, oh, I can play this mission, oh, I can't play this one. Oh, let's just sit in
Yeah.
Discord and talk about our experiences.
That does kind of suck about Avengers, hey? We just like
Yeah.
literally share glitches on each other's stream. That's it.
Yeah, many glitches. So, hopefully that works well, but the whole battle pass and 6 currencies just doesn't bode well. Like, I'm trying to think, there's 5 characters and each currency for each character. Just I can't.
You're trying to give yourself a reason, right, to think this is okay, but it might just be the fact that they're just testing out. Like they might just be like, which currency is the best looking or the most engaging, and that could be copium right there, right? I could just be saying some shit, right? Because we've seen games with multiple currencies, and like by the looks of things, it's like one's like in-game currency that you get all the time. One's like in-game currency that you get some of the time. One's like mission-based currency, and then the other two are probably like fucking paid currency, bro. Like it's a lot. Like you look at this, I got a gold, a green, purple, yellow. Like I can see those being like skills for characters, maybe like all those.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily currency, but like points.
Yeah,
or something.
So we could be
can
reading
only
into it.
speculate.
Could be reading into it, but at the same time, like let's not shoot it straight away, right? Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, I guess is a good saying. But something we could say too is just keep our eye on it.
Wait. I'm sorry. What was that saying?
Yeah,
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is that not? You never
I
heard that
can't say
before?
I've heard that one.
yeah,
I've
no.
heard of don't throw the fucking thing out of the cradle. Oh, what's it? The rattle out of the cradle or something? Whatever the kid one is.
You can Google it, right? I swear, don't
do
throw
they
the
all-
baby out with the
Okay.
bathwater is definitely a saying. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like don't throw everything out with the bad stuff, practically.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely think it's something to keep your eye on over the next couple of months. And this game comes out in May, I believe. So I guess we'll
think
see
that-
more too.
I think the 6 currencies was additional people that people were angry about, but mainly the battle pass for a game like this is totally unnecessary.
I don't think a story-driven game needs a battle pass at all.
Like if Last of Us had a battle pass, you'd be mad.
Yeah, that's actually fair.
Yeah. And
They
Transition.
Yeah, they are trying to suck as much money out of this, but yeah, talking about The Last of Us, hey, nice cookie. Yeah, I'll pay that. I'll pay that. The HBO show came out, so I believe none of us but Reaper have seen it. So Reaper, I'd love to hear your opinion about this Last of Us show because I've only heard amazing things about it. Like Julian screenshotted the Rotten Tomatoes score, and this is after the first episode, mind you. It's got a 99 average critic score, I'm gathering, and a 96 audience score. So Reaper, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm pretty much hooked after episode 1.
Sure.
I think it gives a accurate representation to the game. It also gives it a bit more into detail. So, like for example, it shows how people are infected, how they started to get infected, sort of thing, and it's actually really good
So it's
representation
got
to
like
the
an
game.
origin story.
Yeah, so it's like it starts off with the origin, and then you kind of see the symbol. It's like symbolizes the game quite well. It has a similar storyline. It does. It's like anything though. Like when you read a book to watching a movie, there's obviously going to be parts of the book that are different to parts of the movie.
Yep.
But yeah, personally, I love it. I don't want to give too many spoilers out, so I won't go too much into depth in the show.
The question I want to ask though, does it go straight into the game, or is this going to be like, here's something in the game, here's something that isn't in the game?
So the start for me wasn't particularly particular like straight into the game. It was more like the origin of how people started getting infected. Well, more into depth of that anyway.
Which does differ from the game.
It does.
I don't think the game really explains it wholeheartedly of how people were infected, and it's sort of like a fungal infection.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's a what it is. It's more of a fungal infection that controls the person.
No, it's a real life thing that affects ants.
Yeah.
So I remember
It's sort of
playing
like
the game.
it's like you ingest something that gives you the infection, but it's actually quite interesting to see how it developed, I guess.
That's one thing I've always appreciated with the Last of Us series, that it wasn't just zombies and it wasn't just brain eating and stuff like that. It sort of was a different twist on it with a real life aspect melded into the story.
Yeah.
And not just zombie design of some of the clickers are quite good in the game. So I'm keen to see the show and how they pull that off.
Look, I do recommend everyone to watch it. The scores are accurate to what it is. I think it's a top show. And especially from our point of view, we all have gamed since kids. To actually see something based off a proper game,
and
that
sound like
is
it's done well.
and
A
it's
lot of the
actually
game
done well.
stuff's done
That's correct.
fucking horribly.
I
This
don't
is
know,
actually
Cookie,
done
you
well.
said that Halo was really good when you first watched it.
It started well and then went downhill really fucking fast.
Oh look, I've only seen, I think the third episode's airings this week, so I've only seen the first 2 episodes. And what I've seen so far, it looks like they've done it well. Look, it could go downhill quite quick with most shows making shows about games. But it could go downhill quite quick. I don't know.
Of course it could. Any show can go downhill in one episode, though. Like,
Fingers crossed it doesn't.
Of course. I want to see it successful, man. I want to see more video game adaptations that are actually good.
Well,
as you said, it's very rare.
Going off that point, I am really interested in seeing what the game's going to be remastered now.
Yeah. So that's out. Is that out? The remaster?
I thought it was.
Yeah.
On PC anyway.
Oh, is it?
So going into that, the sales for the game have increased by 238%. I can't find a number. It's so vague because I don't know what it was previously.
Yeah, because if it's one copy, right, that means they sold 2.5 copies.
So on the charts at the moment is number 20.
All right, that's not bad.
On I think Steam sales.
It's weird though. That's weird because this is the first time The Last of Us has ever been on PC. I think that's something to actually mention.
Oh, dude, they've done really well. Naughty Dog, I think they are.
Yeah, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, so they've done really well to, remaster the game on PlayStation maybe a year ago, bring out the PC just at the same time as the show. I think they might have learned that from Cyberpunk, the anime show on Netflix, and plus, how it just upped the sales for their game.
So, yeah, because I would argue Cyberpunk's probably the only other one that's done well. Like The Witcher on Netflix, first season was good, but I thought Halo died off.
Same thing, no. Like The Witcher sales skyrocketed when the show came out originally, and I think it's like, especially if they make it so the show is generalized and it's good for all demographics,
But is
people
it-
who have played the games previously and people who haven't played the games. It gets people to play the game again, but also it sucks people in who probably wouldn't have checked it out beforehand.
But isn't that with like 95% of games? The anticipation gets people hooked, but it depends on how the game goes for the numbers to either stick around or decline quite quick.
Yeah.
I think it's
Like
after
COD.
they see the first episode, they're like,
Like,
"Oh man, I really got to play this game now."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that-
Cyberpunk
My
did that to me.
example straight to COD. Like
Yeah.
COD there was like 5-6 million copies like bought pre-release, and the numbers are down to like 300,000 people online
Yeah.
every 30 days.
But you're talking a very different experience because you're talking about a multiplayer game and a single player game. Like,
I
there's
get that.
no replayability in The Last of Us. Like, it's if you play the story once, there's really no need for you to play it again, right? So these people, after I can't remember when the first game, 8 years ago, maybe, they're now like, oh, maybe I will play it again. And that's just sales numbers. They won't play it on the PS3 or the PS4.
Mm.
They'll buy it
Yeah.
again on PC or PS5.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
And it's not. It doesn't cost $40. It's not on sale. It's an $80 game.
Yeah, fair.
And this game, the remaster definitely come out at like the most perfect time. Especially, they must have known the show was good at the very least, you know, or had faith in the show. I should say, maybe have faith in the show.
And it's very funny because part 2 did very poorly. It was very controversial and politically.
I mean, you look at Cyberpunk though. Cyberpunk was panned, you know, by critics and people that played it. But then when the anime came out, that game seen an absolute rise, you know, as well as
They timed it well though,
Yeah.
because they timed it as they actually got the game to where it was supposed to be on launch.
yeah, I agree with that. They're working, yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I didn't
Not
even have that many
dead.
issues with Cyberpunk. That's the thing, though. A lot of people had mad issues with that game, but I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So
I didn't either. I streamed it
Couple
and I
cheapos.
played. I quite
I-
enjoyed it.
I just expected more.
more,
That's fair.
yeah,
And
that's
everybody did that. I don't know if it was them themselves, the developers, that hyped it up and said it was going to be. I think they did have a part, not to the level that No Man's Sky did false marketing, but you know they hyped it up and they didn't. You know, it's not what it was expected. So I think I
That's
fell
true.
for it.
fair.
The more it happens, the less I do fall for that shit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's don't pre-order video games. That's
No, don't.
billions,
Especially if the
billions,
game
Oh, but
starts with
Hogwarts
COD.
Legacy comes out soon, so make sure you pre-order that.
Do you want to do the next topic, Jules?
Where are we sitting?
Uh,
With the MLK statue?
yeah.
Like, I'm not this excited to talk about it. It's American news and history, but I thought I'd bring up the point. So, a $10 million statue honoring MLK Jr. in Boston was revealed about 2 weeks ago. The statue itself has been critically acclaimed to be garbage and not really honor the
Is that
memory
critical
of the person.
acclaim?
Yeah, I
sorry.
don't know if that wording works on that one.
My bad. Anyway, so it's a shit statue. I want to grab your thoughts, your guys' thoughts on this in
I think-
particular, because it's I know what I feel, and it's just basically, would you rather $10 million be built for a statue, or would you rather it go to community halls and helping the people in the
Yeah.
community?
I think it's the
Well,
obvious one because once you framed it like that, I was like, I can see why that this is
Yeah.
here because mind you, the second photo you showed of the statue didn't look as bad as the photo that I'm seeing right now in front of me. Like this photo does not look very well, but the one from the side, I'm assuming, looks a lot better. But obviously, there's definitely a better way you can spend $10 million. And I'm sure MLK would have had a better way to spend $10 million. Man himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
I think that's
Yeah,
what hurts
then
me the most.
his
If he had $10 million, what he could have done with it, rather than this. But you know, that's trying to play with time and history. So
if you are gonna make
100%
it-
agree on that.
If you are going to make a $10 million statue, it's got to at least be a good one.
yeah, I'm with you on that, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they're going for.
So we
not
talked a little bit
less
about
than
this before we went live on the podcast, and Like a few of us said, until we actually had the context of the picture, we had no idea what it was.
And it was like,
Like
yeah, 100%.
I personally thought it was arms holding a baby in like a wrap. Like
Yeah,
what
so
does it
the
symbolize?
original
What does
from
it
the
picture is
so
him
but
hugging his
when
wife.
we got the context of the actual picture that it was based off, it did make a lot more sense. The issue was, if you don't have the context, you're essentially screwed. But when you mention about where the money would go, like it feels like building a $10 million statue rather than putting it back into where it would help kind of goes. Now, I don't know too much about him, but I know enough to say that it would go almost against what his legacy was to a degree,
100%. Mm.
which kind of
I hate
bewilders
looking
me
at
a little bit.
it. Oh man, I just wish it was better. Like there's artists out there that could probably make something better, and I'm not gonna say that I could. It looks like it's hard work. They did, a good job in the fingernails and shit like that.
Yeah,
But
they did. Like,
no,
it's really
it is
well done.
very
It's
detailed.
really
it
well
looks,
made.
it looks good.
Like,
but like, come on,
Design
it's
wise,
not
yeah, I
like
get what you're saying.
it's not like the Marilyn Monroe photo of her on above the air vent that everybody knows, right? Like there is a photo that everybody's seen of Martin Luther King. There is. Why would you choose something a bit more
Yeah,
vague?
but like you said, Jules, it's meant to be them hugging. You could have put at least from
The
torso
face,
up.
yeah, the head or
You could actually
something.
it
It's just
represents
the
them
arms.
hugging, because the photo that I see at the moment, from front on, looks like it could be slavery or something else involved instead of
It's
an
real
arm hugging
vague.
an arm. Yeah.
Yeah, so they missed the mark, but hopefully they spend $20 million in the next one they try and build.
yeah, and maybe it'll actually resemble MLK, and people will understand what it means.
I just had a thought that I would have loved to add it to this episode in regarding this statue of failed statues of people.
Are you talking about the
there's way too many
Ronaldo
out
one?
there.
The
The
Ronaldo one's almost.
Cristiano Ronaldo
Oh
one.
man,
Yeah.
that one's almost my favorite. It looks so
It's
bad.
so bad.
And I love how he unveils it and he goes, "Oh,
He cringes
that's
when
not
he
good.
sees it.
That doesn't look like me at all."
Yeah. There's this, I know this is really off topic and he's nowhere near as famous as Ronaldo, but there's one of the members of Bliss and Esso, the Wax Museum, and it just looks like him but melted. It's really bad. Like, I couldn't imagine being a famous person going and seeing your own wax statue and it's nothing like you and fucking terrible. And you
Yeah.
probably gave the okay to make that as well, like fucking rough. Anyway, talking about melting, right? So another reason why you should have a PC and not a console. Apparently, if you have a PS5 and you leave it like vertically, consistently, you use it vertically, right? It can actually make the thermal paste leak out, right? And that cause an abundance of issues, like small things like louder console to like up until like fully fucking killing the PS5, 100%. And last week, right, we talked about how it's nearly $2,000 for the PS5, PSVR, and then 2 games, right? And I just want to know how come console peasants haven't bought a PC yet. That's my only question. Like, this shit is happening, and it has consistently happened over the years to consoles.
Because
Okay.
they don't always have to buy everything at once. I feel like it is slowly getting there. Because PCs are more versatile and they're demographic friendly for everybody. So I feel like it's getting there, but like they buy the PlayStation $800 and they buy the VR maybe 6 to 12 months later. So I think they're just fools with money.
Maybe
A
I
lot
should
of them
rephrase
are a
this.
younger audience.
Nah, look,
Well-
I've got a completely different thought process over that, because I grew up on console. You
I think
you
so
boys
did
know.
most of us.
All
Yeah.
No,
all
but like
three of
you
you
boys-
did. I'm the only one
you
that
boys-
didn't.
That's what I said,
Like
most
you
of
boys
us.
know, though, I'm the newest to PC. Like, I've only just started PC.
You're about a year behind us, so don't feel that bad.
Yeah. Like, you're just the newest, like, barely.
What I've got to say is, if you do a bit of research, you'll see that the new 4090s that are coming out
Yeah.
are also having a lot of problems.
Oh, of course, but that's new technology, man. The PS5 has been out for 2 years, though. I don't think there's any
But
excuses.
it's not made, like, it's not technology problems. It's simple technology problems. Like the clips are faulty in the connectors are faulty in the 4090.
Mm.
Where
Yeah, but that stuff's also a bit easier to fix than
Well, no,
having
well-
the
well-
entirety of your fucking PS5 melting.
Well, no, well, put it this way: if someone has a brand new PC that they got made for them, because I didn't make my PC, I bought it from someone.
Yeah.
If I don't know anything about components and I'm playing the PC, over time, if I leave that, it fries my PC. It's the same as the PlayStation. Like I've got the PS5 myself, and I've had no problems with the PS5.
I'm gonna fight you on this one because the thing is about 4090, right? You buy 4090, you get it on your PC, right? Your PC gets fried, right? You take it to a shop. That's the difference between the PS5 and a PC. You know what I mean? You take it to a shop, right? They go, oh fuck, this graphics card's fucked. How long you had it for? 6 months. Fuck, man. We'll put it back in the box, send it back to the fucking manufacturer, bro. Your PS5's fucked after 2 years, bro. I guarantee you're not getting warranty on that bitch. I guarantee who's gonna fix it? Nobody. They're not gonna pull apart your PS5, and I think EB Games is the only one, right? And they're shonky as shit. They're so shonky. I've had my controller fixed by them like 5 times, and it come back fucked every time, bro. And I had to pay for like the last 2. It's ridiculous, awful. It's so much easier to fix a graphics card issue, and the graphics card person, I guarantee you they're happy to replace it, especially if there's issues where if you've had a PS5 for something like this is like the game's there's been out for 2 years and people have had it just vertical, you know what I mean? Like it's such a I understand what you're saying, but I just think it's easier to get these fixes solved on a PC because it doesn't void any warranty going into it. It doesn't, you know, like these manufacturers are way more willing to help you out, and warranties, you get individual warranty on parts, which is another great reason to have a PC, you know. Anything fucks up and it's a brand new part, you're going to get a refund for it.
Just back on that topic though, 95% of games when on PC, when the graphics are getting like upgraded, on the PlayStation, all it is an update. On the PC, if it gets to a point, you got to fucking change your graphics card. You got to change your.
Well, you could.
That's a push. That's a push because you can just downscale. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the blessing of being
thing.
on a thing. Yeah, there's a blessing of being on a PC is having that ability to downscale. Like you can run off the same. If you buy a 4090, that shit's good for 10 years minimum. You have to downscale to low by the end of 10 years, right? You'll be pushing it by the end of it, right? You'll be pushing it.
And the thing with the PlayStation,
10 years, 4090, I'd argue probably 8.5.
Yeah,
when
but
the
console
PlayStation
6
came out
maybe.
as well.
Just because of how quick everything's now like advancing.
We're talking about a 4090 versus a console, which might get you 6 years. Like it's not cutting edge. When it comes out, it's already the last gen.
My example would be Vanguard, right? How long's the PS4 been out for?
Forever. Like fucking,
7,
I don't know.
7-8 years?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Plus 10, I reckon. 10 plus.
You're talking
10?
about since
Okay.
before the PlayStation 5.
Vanguard was I played Vanguard on a PS4 because I didn't have a PC. And it was an incredible struggle to play on that. And I know a lot of the CDL pros have said it as well. They've gone from PC back to the PlayStation 4 to play certain tournaments. And that where it is just PlayStation lobby sort of thing. They have struggled mainly due to the FOV, but I just feel like I can only really gauge off Vanguard because outside of that, I've not played a lot of games just on a PlayStation. The only other one was Final Fantasy 14, which I played on both. And like that's a 13, 14-year-old game. Like it's not exactly young. Vanguard was fairly new. The engine wasn't exactly the latest. But everything's a lot more, it just runs smoother. There's a lot more customization you can do. Obviously, I do know that a lot of the people that are playing the PlayStation over, say, a computer, they're a minimalist rather than, like, they're not there for all the customization you can do. Like for instance, I know a lot of the people that would play Final Fantasy 14 on a PlayStation over a computer would be their parents, they're people that might jump on for a couple of hours and just play around with people that they know in the free company rather than being like hardcore raiders, end gamers, any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think the difference now between a console over a computer is, I think it more goes off what type of person you are.
I think it
Nowadays.
also it's easy access. You just pick up a PlayStation.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Start playing.
Yeah,
It's more
that's
for the-
where it like
Can't
falls
say
into
that
what
a
I'm saying.
PC is fucking hard to do.
Nah,
Well, you're
but
saying that someone
what-
can't log
what-
on to PC, like
Yeah, but
nobody's
it's
done that
different-
before.
it's different
Open a
users.
client, run a game, and just go. I don't
No,
want to
but
fuck
the-
with the settings.
what
I'll
I-
deal with the default. It works.
what I'm
for me.
saying-
Start the
No,
fucking
no, no.
I-
The
I think
difference
I
is you
say-
can do it from the couch though, or your
Yeah.
bed. It's not. You're not. As
You can
perfect
do that
example-
with the PC.
Perfect example is Benny on Sea of Thieves with us. You prefer controller? Why?
Because I can sit back in my chair, but that's not to your argument. You can do that on a PC
Yeah,
as well.
you can do that on a
You
PC
can.
nowadays.
I'm
and it's so
not
much
denying that, but
easier.
not every game you can use a controller with.
It's a little shit though.
On
Cookie.
PC.
I don't know, man. 90% of the games that I play, I can use the fucking controller.
It's a little
I
shit
just-
because
Yeah,
I have
majority
my
you can,
Xbox
not
on the
all.
TV, right? I barely play it, right? You know, the most of the time I play my Xbox is actually on my monitor here. I stream from my Xbox on my TV to my monitor and play it. That's about majority of the time I use my Xbox.
But that's falls into what I was saying, where it's what you want to do with it now. Like,
Yeah.
I say, like the hardcore people, hardcore in quotation marks, not all play on a console over, or on a PC over a console. But I'm just more going off majority. Majority of the people that are still playing on a console are either kids, where their parents don't want them to have a PC. Because I mean, let's be honest, you can jump on a PC and fucking access anything the hell you want.
That's like that's a harder argument to get away with, but yeah.
Yeah,
These days, there's so many safety settings you can put on, man. There's so many, and like
yeah.
you can monitor your kids on a PC way easier than 10 years ago. You know, you can see exactly what they're doing.
If you're savvy with it, 100%.
Yeah, of course, but we're not idiots. That's
Yeah.
the thing. You know what I mean?
We aren't. No, for sure.
If
Some
you
people
gave
are.
your kid, if you gave your kid right
Dude,
now a
there's not
PC
an
cookie,
excuse
you could
anymore.
work out a way where you could monitor what they're doing 24/7.
Yes, but I do IT for a living.
No, but that's not even fair, cookie.
You could
It's
just,
not
you just
hard.
could go on YouTube
No.
and look up a tutorial.
it's not
Yeah,
hard.
easy
yeah.
these days to
I'm
be like
not denying that, but I do also know, coming from my choice of work, there's some people in their 40s and above that don't know even how to turn
Mate,
on a TV
there's
or
people that
on a
are-
computer.
But they're dying out, Cookie.
No, not even true, Julian. That's not true because I'm gonna jump with a cookie here. I talked to I spoke to a 32-year-old today that didn't know what a VPN was. They looked at me like I was fucking crazy, like I
Yeah.
knew everything in the world that they didn't know. I'm like, a VPN is such a simple thing. You know, I can't believe they don't have a VPN. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
And-
don't know what the abbreviation stands for. so
Virtual private network.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm caught up.
Um,
now. Look at that.
But a lot of
love
those, like, people that are having kids nowadays, or the kids that are getting to the age where they're getting into technology, whether it's phones, computers, anything like that, they are either that little bit older where they've just missed the PC like era, like they're that little bit off, and they're still not 100% on doing all that safety stuff. And yeah, okay, when you buy a computer from a tech company, you can be like, yeah, cool, I want this stuff on it so I can do it. Some people don't even think about that.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, I agree. The consoles are easier, but if you play games all the time, right?
Yes.
Buy a PC, man. It's cheaper. It's more efficient.
That's what I wanted to ask, because so in regards to this topic, you three have made the transition in the past year to 2 years. I myself grew up playing PC, went to console for a little bit for specific games, and then have come back to PC predominantly. So my opinion's a little bit biased on this one.
I'd actually
but
like
I wanna
kick this
hear-
off with Reaper then. If you're going to send this through,
What was that, sorry?
kick this off with Reaper because he's the newest, right? And he hasn't been talking
Yep.
very much. I need to hear his beautiful voice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm throwing it out to everybody, but Red, do you want to hear your first? Because we tried to get you over to PC for I'd argue about 6-7 months.
I'd say
Yep.
since college.
We took of convincing you to try to get over to PC. And when you made the transition, did you find it was worth the money to do the transition?
This is where it's going to be very controversial, I think.
Controversy is good for a podcast.
I do find that if you're not into computers too much,
Mm-hmm.
it is actually quite difficult to get adjusted to a computer.
Boo!
When-
No,
when-
that's a 100% fair statement.
When I played my PlayStation, all I know is I need to press one button, press the game, load it, and I'm in. With
That's
this,
fair.
I need to do driver updates, I need to do graphic card updates, I've got to do everything, and I still fuck it up.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know
Reaper. Can I just jump in? What phone have you got?
iPhone.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought, dude. Fucking iPhone, simpleton, bro. I
See?
got
Hey,
shoot.
hey, Benny, watch yourself. Watch yourself, lad.
No, I agree with Ben.
Fuck you, Jules. No one cares.
I jumped.
I care.
I fucking Razor, for fuck's sake. Be different.
I jumped on originally because like I said, I find that the Ps5 was the easiest thing. I press a button, open up a game. You guys have changed my mind
You
because
didn't have games for fucking a year.
what?
You didn't have any PlayStation games.
Oh, fucking shitloads. Anyway,
No.
yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Truth?
Oh man, there were no fucking PlayStation games for a year.
Oh,
He's right.
He was
He's
very
not wrong. He's not wrong.
he was very restricted.
He's not
Yeah,
Yeah,
not denying.
but like I was saying, it was only till really when I've even asked you guys mid game what frames I should be having and shit like that. I don't get the whole like fucking jingo on what I should be running my PC at
Okay.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Um,
Nobody
I-
knows.
Yeah, but you
I-
fake it till you make it.
Yeah, that's
Rico.
it.
that's it.
yeah,
Like,
well, I have been faking it completely because I haven't
You-
I
you
haven't
know what
done
the-
any of that shit yet.
you know what the easiest trick to not have to worry about that sort of stuff is?
What?
Buying the best fucking PC you can get, then you
Well,
got
that's
nothing.
what I did. That's what I did. At the
Yeah.
time, I poured in $4,000 for my computer.
What are you
Yeah.
getting? What are you getting on Modern Warfare?
It differs.
Okay.
That's another big fucking thing I gotta say. If you don't have an Ethernet cable to your PC, my bandwidth is fucking shot.
Hey,
when I play
you need a better aerial.
When I
Well,
play,
you need a better router.
When I play PlayStation though, I didn't drop out of games or disconnect from games.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. So your Wi-Fi adapter on your PC is shithouse. Is it an inbuilt one of your motherboard, or is it like a USB one that you plug in?
No, it's inbuilt.
Yeah, and there you go.
Take to a computer shop, get that fixed hell cheap.
Nothing else needs to be said on that one, Rip.
But you don't like nowadays. You don't actually need to be directly to your base modem. I'm hooked up. To a
Wi-Fi is
booster.
perfectly fine.
See, that's
I'm an Ethernet to my booster, which is through a brick wall to my actual base modem.
Well, that's what I've ended up
and it
doing.
works fine.
I've ended up doing a power line adapter.
Yeah.
But in saying that, like I've never had problems with the PS5. I have had a few issues, like the other night with Cookie. I was dropping out of games left, right, and center.
Yeah, but that could have been Battlefield as well.
Well, you guys weren't.
No,
Oh,
that's
no.
true.
So I
Um,
just find that I do have a little bit more problems, but
I would jump in
Like-
here, but I've only ever had shit internet while playing on console. So
yeah. So
That's-
like I said
pretty
though, like I said, it just takes a lot more time to get used to a PC.
All I'll say in regards to the Wi-Fi part of it, like it will probably sound biased, but like PlayStations, a lot of them are built to be played wireless because they're in the landing
Yeah,
room.
so
that's the
they
whole point.
invest in a good.
that's
they-
the point.
put a very good Wi-Fi adapter into it. PCs are more to be kind of put and built like right next to where your Wi-Fi router would be, because a lot of the time it's on your desk, and a lot of the time the router's on your
I
desk.
live-
ever
I live in-
move.
I live in like a 1960s building where the Wi-Fi connector is in the lounge room.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too. Yeah, me too. I don't have anywhere near as many issues as you apparently, though, right?
So, look, all I'm saying
All
is,
you'd have to do is drop 100, 120
All-
bucks on a really
all
good
I'm-
Wi-Fi adapter for your computer, and you're golden.
well, I'm gonna have to get you to help me out with that one.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when I played PlayStation at the start, I was very casual play. I would just
Yep.
jump on, play with some mates. Then I met you guys, and I started taking it a bit more seriously.
We had
Yeah,
that
we're
effect on
stupid
people.
like that. We're
Yeah.
stupid like that, eh?
That's why.
We really
nah,
like
After spending
No,
$4,000.
no, it's not that. It's just that you guys are very competitive when whatever game you play,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Find a
I
single player
find,
game competitive.
I
Mate,
find
we
that-
went competitive on Sea of Thieves last night.
yeah, exactly. I find that fun. So when I started
That
playing with
was
you guys,
fun
I was
as
like,
fuck.
"Fuck, I'll take the jump."
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to stream, but that's another issue I'm having because my internet's I don't know, in another world.
A Wi-Fi adapter will help that because Wi-Fi adapters do go down that bandwidth path where the built-in Wi-Fi adapters are very limited on bandwidth.
All right, easy. Well, I'll get you to help me out with that. But
Yep.
that's
I'll link you something after the podcast for a Wi-Fi adapter. From like, just let me know what companies are close to you, and I'll look on the website for you.
I don't
Anyway.
care. I'll just get it.
But so making the transition from like PlayStation to PC, after all that discussion, would you say it was worth the money you've invested?
To this point, it's 50-50 for me. I have a lot of pros, but there's a few cons that make me go.
That's fair.
Should I have done it?
I want to jump off to
Reaper, but
I want to jump to
your
the
opinion is
person.
wrong.
I want to jump to the person that's probably spent the most on PC parts so far in his gaming experience, and that's you, Jules, probably.
I mean, I have different issues. Mine wasn't so. I guess it is part of it.
But what's
Yours
your
was
experience
too,
been
you
like?
bought it
Jules?
off.
I had a bad build, right? And that's because of my carelessness and laziness to just let someone else handle it for me. So I'm happy to go that those problems were on my own fault. But going into it, fucking love PC. I mean, I always have been PC savvy just with the work I do. But I
Sure.
love the learning experience.
Yeah,
Like
that's a really
all
good part.
all those system settings, they were all in the consoles. The frame rate, your graphics resolutions, dust particles, shadows. They were all in there, but you could never see them. You could never see the change. It was always downscaled, which is what consoles always fucking do. So they run nicely. They always downscale everything. But now I can see what they do, see what they change, see how my actual build is able to handle them. Know the difference between 60 and 120 FPS. I fucking love learning. And I continuously having like 2 monitors set up. That is one of my favorite fucking things, having multi-monitor set up. Playing RPG on the right screen and Netflix on my left.
I'll cut you off on that though. Actually, I can't. I had 2 screens, but I had a PC hooked up to one and it's still playing PlayStation.
Yeah, so you had a PC. So you did the whole doubling up.
Yeah, I contradicted myself.
Mine was always a phone. I always had my phone like trying to play YouTube and something.
Oh, dude, I did that when my PC broke for 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
So I had my little phone. I didn't have an iPad, but that's the tiniest little fucking screen. I hated it.
I was actually going to say something on that point. Ben, you've had multiple problems with fan issues with your PC.
Yeah, I had
to get fixed.
Yeah, I had a small build.
Ben had the same issue as me.
My PC is probably built like 3 times as big as my last PC. Like I had a tiny little like console. It was probably just as, if not the same size as my Xbox One.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
both our first builds were pretty poor.
Yeah, we were just trying to put minimal amount of money in.
Now.
Yeah, we're good
but
now.
Now that you have both like invested the money in, would you say it's worth it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'd never go back. I hate that moment where your PC stops working and you have to go back to console. It sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
For me, playing that would have been 8-9 months on PlayStation last year. It'd be about that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it have been 12? I will say that 8-9 months I fucking despised. Like, I'll be honest. Like, now that I've got back on the computer, like, we have Game Pass. How many fucking games can we play together on Game Pass?
Some of us have Game Pass on the other console as well, but I'd just like to mention that some of us are PlayStation scrubs and no PlayStation.
Yes.
But
what I'm trying to say is you've got Game Pass, you've got Steam, you've got basically every game.
Amazon Prime. How many free games do you want a month? Because there's 7 gajillion.
That's not what I'm leaning towards. That's not what I'm going to mention. Is the fact that we've got all these games from the different platforms, and it doesn't matter what platform that we're playing on, because we're all playing on PC, we can all play together.
Yeah.
Like, I was restricted on a PlayStation. If you're on an Xbox, you're restricted on certain games.
Yep.
Yeah, every time we want to play Halo.
The thing that was pissing me off when I was playing PlayStation, I'll agree to that, is voice chat.
Yes.
You guys were on Discord.
Yeah, that's big.
I wasn't in Discord. I had to play with you guys in voice chat.
Like
guys couldn't
Xbox
hear me
Live was
sometimes.
good back in the day.
I'd just like to mention that Xbox has fixed that problem, by the way. PlayStation still hasn't fixed that issue of not being able to use Discord.
Do you know what's had it since day one?
It's
PC.
Don't need that opinion, Ben. Do not need that opinion.
Just quickly, just like to mention that PlayStation sucks and it has got like one good game over good features.
PC had it from the get-go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. PC.
What else would it be on?
I feel like Reaper is midway through his transition right now. I feel like he needs that one PC issue, right, where he has to go back to console. He's gonna be like, actually, man, I fucking hate this shit. This shit fucking sucks.
In saying what you said, Cookie, about the FPS thing, yeah. The POV. Sorry.
That was a very small part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But in saying that, look, we all knew as console players that you guys had better POV. We all knew that. FOV. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
We all knew that you guys had a better FOV.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like we were complaining. Well, we were complaining.
Because you're used to what the console.
We got used to that, so we didn't compare. You, in the other hand, had the comparison.
I went back, and that was the issue. Was like I went back to play like Warzone 1, where it was like on the old school FOV. That shit was painful.
Like when I was playing Vanguard with you guys, I wasn't complaining about my FOV because I got used to it.
Yeah,
and that's all I've been playing on was FOV. But in saying that, when you played Warzone on PlayStation, you could change your FOV. And
on PS4,
yeah, you could.
Maybe after a while.
Trust me, I went looking. Last year, I could not change it.
All the people that I played with, we all changed their FOV. What I was trying to say
was on PS5 though.
It was
4 and 5.
Some games allowed.
Maybe the Pro had it.
Anyway, what I was trying to say, it was a big transition from that 120. I couldn't play 120 straight off the rip because I thought I was.
I don't think
Usain Bolt running around.
Wait, you actually play 120?
Yeah, no. 110 or 100. Like that's. I'd not go over 110.
No, well,
otherwise you feel like a fish.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You
could have an ultra
wide. No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Because you guys have been PC like orientated from day one.
Master race.
Shut up, Jules.
We are gods.
What I'm trying to say is when we got the option to do 120, everyone played 120. They didn't go 110, 15, 100.
Wait, when I first jumped in my first game of COD on PC, I went straight to 120 straight away. Yep.
So what I'm trying to say is like we jumped to 120, and I found it actually harder to play 120 because I was so.
That would have almost been double,
60.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, but everybody's
60
like
for
that.
it, wasn't
65 for console.
Yeah,
everybody's like that though, Reaper. Like if you make the switch, even if it's double or 1.5 times the scale, you're still gonna have a hard time. It's just different, and you work with habit in your subconscious.
But in saying that, now I've been playing like Modern Warfare 2 on 110, I wouldn't be going back to 60. Yeah. I couldn't go back to 60.
Oh my God, no. Why would you?
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't be able to. Now I'm so used to playing that. I wouldn't be able to go back.
Yeah, we've mentioned COD a bit. Well, because you've been getting to another game of late.
Yeah.
Would you go and play that on PS5?
No,
instead of computer.
No.
What is the other game?
Battlefield.
Oh yeah.
By the way, boys, you got to get Battlefield. It's
Benny's got it.
It's so much better than Modern Warfare.
The thing about
there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Ground War.
We don't play Ground War.
Not that you can't compare them, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is garbage.
Yeah.
No,
Battlefield launch is garbage.
All I'm trying to say is FPS wise, I find Battlefield a lot better than Modern Warfare or COD.
Easy, but I don't find Battlefield better than Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2.
No.
Yeah, no,
Black
it's a
Ops
fair comparison. It's just actually, this one COD. I don't find Battlefield better than, I don't know, Cold War.
Actually,
I was just going to say, you know what, one game that's recently released that also wasn't better than its predecessor? Overwatch.
Good. I'm glad, because that was not the topic I expected us to spiral off. So this week an article came out, right, of So apparently the Overwatch
transition.
League, yeah, dude, you're on fire tonight. I can't believe it, eh? Thanks. That topic was fucking sick, though. I'm glad we broke that down. An article's come out this week. Apparently, the Overwatch League teams are seeking some form of like economic relief after years of high operating costs and disappointing returns. So here's a quote from the Houston Outlaws owner. He said that the teams pay some players more than $200,000 a year salary, and despite the $1.4 million in revenues stemming primarily from ad sales, the teams are still operating at a loss. Now, my question to you, Julian, you can jump in if you want to, right? Is this a game issue? Is this an Overwatch League issue? Or is this a Blizzard issue?
It's 200,000 per year total.
No, that's just, he says some players are
that'd be their contract for the year.
More than 200,000 a year.
That's averaged.
Yeah.
That's a huge percentage of 1.4 million in revenue.
Do you think that the players don't deserve 200,000 a year?
For a game like Overwatch? No.
I tend to agree with you. I don't think Overwatch is that popular, but I also think if you're dedicating your whole life to a game, especially one as necessary and focused as Overwatch, right? Something you have to constantly learn metas, strats, right? It's a very strat-heavy game, right? You're constantly learning routes, routines, and there's 5 people on the map too, so you're constantly having a major teamwork. I could see a top-tier player getting over 200,000. And that's not talking about, was Hydra's contract was 500,000 for Call of Duty?
Roughly. That's what they...
3-year deal, 3-year deal, right?
That's what they announced.
But so you honestly don't think Overwatch players deserve 200,000 a year, Jules?
No, God, no.
Can somebody look up the average the viewers?
That's
I'll do that now.
Royalty percentage. That is a massive percentage.
100%.
If it's only 1.4 million, no way. That's huge.
I would like to also
16%?
point out. Oh, sorry, Julie.
It's like 16% of the total revenue.
Something like that.
So for the viewership for 2022, so last season's
new game, by the way. Overwatch 1.5.
Yeah, no, this was Overwatch 1 because this season finished summer.
No, they played Overwatch 2 for that whole season.
No, this one was.
I'm not joking.
I can see
no. I'm telling you.
Let me finish. It's not the last season; it's the season before.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I'll shut up.
Because that's the only one I could find that actually has viewership stats out.
Yeah, they've been playing it for a while. Overwatch 2, but go on.
So the highest peak viewers was 113,000.
Shit.
So this is peak viewers, right? And that was in the very first tournament. It literally went down from there. So there was 7 tournaments throughout the year. That's not including the online parts of it. It went from 113,500 down to 82,800, down to 70,000. And then it plateaued to 71,000. These are peak, by the way, not average.
Yep.
And then the kickoff clash went up to 121,000, which I think was when the Overwatch 2 season started.
Okay.
And then the one after that was 70,000, and then the last one, which was the Summer Showdown, was 52,000.
Oh,
that is peak.
That's a massive.
Now the average was 69.1 for the first, 59.1 for the second, 48.1 for the third, 42.6 for the fourth, 50.2 for the big one, like the big...
The grand final for the finals.
No, that was the kickoff clash.
Okay, right.
So that's... I think that is the first one of the season.
Obviously, Codley was dying, bro.
Mid-season madness, 37.8. So these are only the LAN events. Everything else was held online, and then they had 3 events. You got the first one, the middle one, and then the last one. And then the Summer Showdown, which was the last one. Get a load of this. Average viewership, 28.7.
What
are we looking at, Reaper?
That's the esports charts for Overwatch 2 Showdown.
That's... Oh my god, bro. I thought COD was dying, bro. I thought COD was dying.
You can't be surprised that a game like Overwatch with the launch that it's had is doing poorly with the esports.
Yeah. Now, I do want to also note, in regards to that statement, Houston Outlaws, if they're at a loss, that is something major because Houston Outlaws has the biggest fan base of the Overwatch League team.
No, that can't be true.
I dead set.
That can't be true.
Dead set.
Well, you got like Florida, they're huge. They're like one of the most winning teams, aren't they? Like, what about
yeah, but
Seoul Dynasty?
One of the most winning is very different to the most liked.
Yeah,
FaZe. It's the biggest fan base. Because Houston Outlaws was, I don't know if they still are, but when they first came into the league, owned by the same guys that owned Optic at the time.
No, they're not owned by. They're not.
They sold. I'm pretty sure they. I'm pretty sure they sold about 2 years ago. Yeah. But if they were operating at a loss from at the get go, which is what it sounds like, because it's saying still operating at a loss, that means that there's a lot of issues behind the scenes. It's not a profitable league whatsoever.
This is even worse. This was the G4 Overwatch showdown. I'll put it on my I'll share my screen. But this is
the G what?
G4 Overwatch 2 show match.
Oh my gosh. That's just a show match. That's just a show match, but what the fuck?
That is nothing.
That is shocking. Like, that's for 5 hours of airtime to have a peak viewership of 3,285 is shit.
Oh my gosh, bro. Awful.
So that's bad. But I think that comes down to the game as well. A majority game rather than the league. Because I watched the Overwatch League for the first 2 seasons.
It was good, yeah.
The quality of the actual league, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Big up Pocket.
Pocket. Shout out Pocket.
Pocket. They had some very, very good casters. They brought over guys from the Korean League of Legends scene, American guys, but they would do the English broadcast for the Korean scene in League of Legends, which is, if anybody knows League of Legends, the biggest part of the most winningest region of League is Korea. They brought over the main guys that were doing the League of Legends streams over there for the English part of it. They brought in an Aussie who was very, very well respected in the casting community called Uber.
Okay.
Phenomenal cast, and I would absolutely love to hear his cast on COD because he used to cast COD 4 way back in the day when I played Pro Mod.
Okay,
and it was fucking phenomenal of it. Excuse the language. They brought in very, very well respected guest hosts that had played. So before the Overwatch League was the thing, you had challenges, I think it was called.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
They had about a year of that. They brought in some of the players that were world champions of that into it. They had the Overwatch World Cup, which I thought was a fantastic event.
Great idea.
More games need to do that because that was awesome.
Yep.
They had everything set up perfect besides the game.
Look, I don't want to spend too much more time on this. I read in the article that it's really highly likely that these teams get some kind of money from the league itself because, like, I said this league and the Call of Duty League, right? We'll get onto it later. They're selling it. They sold these teams to fantasy. Let's be really honest. They sold to fucking fantasy.
They sold them to No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, 100%. They sold. I don't know who's out here selling this shit, but they were fucking talking out their ass, man. They esports leagues now, I think even with the League of Legends League, how it's looking at the moment, have proven to not work. And I think we need to start going back to like a freelance, like homegrown kind of model.
CWL style. There's not enough money in it just yet for it to follow the traditional sport route.
100%.
Like the traditional sport route took 90 to 100 years for it to get to where it is. Esports can't just come in and think they can do it in 10, 15 years.
Look, I want to jump onto this COD stuff soon, Reaper, right? But I think I want to... Oh, is it you? All right, true.
It's not me.
Yeah, I just seen it pop up. I was like, is it Reaper at this? I seen you write it, but I didn't know if you're moving it. I just want to jump onto the Halo Infinite news. I don't know if you guys have this link. I've just put it in. But so this past week, a lot of cuts have been happening to a lot of game studios, but Microsoft actually laid off 10,000 staff, and I think a solid amount of those staff were from the 343 team, actually, the Halo team. Halo developers 343 Industries says Master Chief and Cortana are staying under its roof, but reported of deep cuts to Halo's development staff, causing to question the studio's ability to sustainably develop future for Halo content. So Microsoft had a rumor of releasing 10,000 staff, which turned out to be true. I think some of the people that left blamed the mismanagement of Halo Infinite on the upper management.
Which a lot of them have left.
Yeah, Halo's Twitter posted, it's a 343 Industries post. Halo and Master Chief are here to stay. 343 Industries will continue to develop Halo now and into the future, including epic stories, multiplayer, and more of what makes Halo great. I don't know what this means for Halo, but I think with the Forge mode coming into it, I think we've actually been having a really good time with it lately.
We have.
I think people are going too hard on Halo Infinite because they have this... I think the hate for Halo Infinite comes from this like unrealistic standard of what Halo was. It's almost like what we feel for COD, but for Halo. But instead of, because our community has this infighting where people think it's really good, some people think it's really shit, some people are okay with it. But Halo, the community seems to just all generally fucking hate it together, which I'm not sure if it'd be better for COD. I feel like we'd get more shit done if we all agreed that it sucks, because I just hear a lot of people singing Modern Warfare 2 praises. Personally, and we'll get on to Modern Warfare 2. I think Reaper has something to say after we get off this point. But how do you guys feel about Halo Infinite right now playing it? I actually want to start with Julian, if that's okay.
So I'm just reading that Microsoft earned $52.7 billion in revenue, but they're still laying off
staff.
Employees.
Yeah, Game Pass didn't make them enough money, bro. Okay.
Apparently, that's less than 5% of the entire employee count, but still
10,000 jobs is a lot of jobs.
Sorry, can you frame your question again?
Have you been enjoying Halo Infinite recently? Do you think it's good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fantastic for me, right? I wasn't a big Halo multiplayer.
I think all of us can say that.
COD multiplayer. So I have such a fresh take, and it doesn't I have this nostalgic appeal that's getting fucking squashed and trampled by these shit fucking games and bad business decisions. So I'm really happy, right?
I mean, you like Arkham Knight, bro, so...
No, dinner. I like Arkham City. Arkham Knight was mid. Alright? Gotham Knights, haven't even played it.
Yeah.
But, look, I can understand and agree with a lot of people's upset with the Halo game, especially when it came out on launch. You know, you had to wait, I think it was a month before the solo campaign came out. Did the campaign come out at launch? I can't remember if it did, but co-op campaign didn't come out until 6 months down the line.
Co-op campaign is actually... Oh, well, couch multiplayer co-op campaign isn't coming to Halo Infinite, just to reiterate that.
It's online, isn't it?
Yeah, exclusively online, yeah.
Most games these days, there is no such thing as couch co-op, because they don't allow the hardware system to handle it. So... I can understand how there was a lackluster maps and content and release, and it's taken them a long time to get there, but... it's the gaming industry now. It's just it's what people should expect. And I think it is getting a hard rap because it's that beloved series that everybody remembers. You know, you got all your friends who are now fucking parents or getting married, right? They used to play with you, and now you'll never see them online. You're like, oh man, I'm not there yet in my life, but I was hoping that this game would bring it back, and it hasn't. So maybe you're throwing a bit of emotion at a game that's probably not justified, but I don't know. It's missed the mark in some areas. It's taken a long time to get to the place it has.
I just feel like a lot of games, they sing their praises once they finally get the stuff that they need and the attention they require. We just got Forge in Halo. I don't think anyone's talking anywhere near enough or singing its praises anywhere near enough. And I know you've been talking about trying it a lot, and I haven't figured out how to make multiplayer matches out of Forge maps yet. I do think they should bring a rotation of Forge maps into a multiplayer playlist.
Just let you try it out.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fucking competitive,
Maybe have something vetted beforehand.
Yeah,
random maps, but we think this is good. Try this out. You don't have to actually search for it.
They have certain maps that they've made that aren't even in rotation yet, I don't think. 343 have made them and they're not in rotation, but that could just be us just playing mostly ranked. But I've played a fair bit of quick play as well, and I haven't come across these maps. Only the two maps that are actually in ranked, either the Halo 3 or Reach one. Like I said, I'm not the big Halo expert.
Purple blocky looking one.
It's the one where it's like 2 snipers spawn on both sides of the towers. Yeah. There's that alley, 2 alleys, one for mid, one for right or left. So
it's such an annoying map, though.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite too. That's the thing. But I'm gonna run and grab a drink. I just wanted to jump and say that. But Reaper, how have you been feeling? Because I don't know your experience with Halo, but have you been enjoying Halo Infinite? What you've played so far?
Yeah, I can't say I haven't. I've still been enjoying my game. But yeah, it was leading on to the next topic for me actually, and I'll get obviously Cookies and Jules's opinion as well. But I don't know about you boys.
I haven't given my opinion on Halo yet.
I'll let you give your.
Don't move on just yet.
I'll let you give your opinion on Halo, and then I'll go on to my next topic anyway.
You gotta have a smooth segue like Cookie's been throwing in.
Yeah, well,
5 times now.
This was.
Come on, Cookie. You bring.
Well, yeah,
it's up to you again.
Let me do my opinion, then we'll get yours, Reap, and then we can transition. So for 3v3, 3-4-3, you mentioned Julesy about the higher ups. Was it you that mentioned about the tweet of the higher ups?
It was Ben.
That was Ben. But about the incompetence from Halo Infinite came from the higher ups. 343 have lost their founder. She resigned, Bonnie Ross. The multiplayer creative director, Tom French, has resigned. And the lead narrative designer, Aaron Lynn, also left.
Is this recently, or are you talking about the old school
in 2022?
Yeah, okay. So not
they've left since Infinite released. So that is literally the owner of the company, the director of the multiplayer, and the designer of the single player. So that is basically every single department that they could have for Halo. So they can't use that as an excuse.
Well, it depends
for anything
what you
else
mean by higher up. So are they talking about those guys in particular, or even higher up from that? You know, not so much the developing studio, but the publishers who will allow the game to be released and fund the game. Are they throwing in these massive expectations? Because technically they are the highest up. They're the one under Microsoft. I don't know if it's Microsoft.
Well, it says incompetent. I've got the tweet here. It says the layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened, and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of those things is incompetent leadership up top during Halo Infinite development, causing massive stress on those working hard to make Halo the best it can be. Yeah. Now, from my opinion, that sounds like 343's leadership itself rather than anything to do with Microsoft.
I don't think you can blame Microsoft. I don't think you can blame Microsoft in this. They gave the game an extra year to come out.
Yeah.
That was their Game Pass selling title of that year, and they said, "Fuck it, push it back a year."
Yeah. So Benny, I don't know if you heard what I said to begin with. That was the excuse they're using in regards to the Halo Infinite quotation marks around debacle.
Okay.
I personally don't think it was a debacle because the release of Halo Infinite was actually very positive, I thought.
Super positive.
It's just what's happened since, I think, has leaned it down towards the debacle side. So what I'm trying to just mention, just a little recap for you, Benny, is that the founder of 343, the multiplayer creative director, and the lead narrative designer have all left the company.
Okay.
So from this tweet, they now don't have an excuse for anything in the future.
Okay.
Is what I'm leaning towards, because they've said about the leadership, well, the 3 main leaders are gone.
Okay.
They can't put anything on the leadership anymore.
Yeah.
Now, my personal opinion on the game is ranked is absolutely fucking amazing.
It's incredible. It makes me feel things that I need to feel. It needs more maps though, yeah.
That's what I'm getting to. The reason I think it's getting the hate in comparison to a lot of the other games currently is it feels stale. How long do this... We're on like season 2 or 3 or something. The game's been out for over a year.
Yeah.
COD's already on season 2, about to start season 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man! It's released a lot of maps as well. Cool.
The other
more
thing...
maps, less Slayer, bro. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, facts. Lower that percentage on Slayer coming up.
I hate playing Slayer, bro. I don't feel like that.
Facts.
It's like the least competitive mode out of the competitive modes, and there's the most maps on it.
And my other biggest thing that I have personally not liked with Halo, but as I said, the game itself feels great. It was the promises that they had before release. Like, they promised Forge mode really, really early on into Halo. It's now been a year and it's only, just come out? Not even come out yet?
Yeah.
Just come out.
The game needed another year to bake. It's weird to say that, even though it got pushed back a year. It needed another year to bake. I feel like Microsoft maybe should have stepped in quicker and seen what was happening and fix it quicker. But that's just me.
The first season took 6 months to come into play. I think roughly about 6 months for it to actually start.
I feel
and
the campaign didn't come out for 6 months.
Well, that was going to be my next one. Was the campaign didn't come out for 6 months. I did like the way they've done the cost of it, where I liked the fact that you had to buy the campaign, but you could still play the multiplayer for free.
Yeah.
Like, I personally like that, where you could still have the multiplayer experience. If you wanted that extra step where you're like old school Halo, you love the campaign. I do agree that the price was probably a little bit pricey for just a campaign, but maybe $30-$40 for the campaign, I feel like would have been reasonable.
Okay.
If it's a good campaign. Never played the campaign, but if anybody has played it and thoroughly enjoyed the campaign, or if you didn't like it, let us know. Because I don't think any of us have actually played the campaign for Infinite yet.
I haven't heard anything bad about it.
No, that's it. But I know it's like $70-$80 or something for the campaign.
Or get Game Pass.
Yeah, or Game Pass. Game Pass is a phenomenal thing. But outside of that, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, the only thing I didn't like is just that they didn't live up to the promises, or the promises were extremely delayed.
Yeah, okay. Look,
more content, please.
Cookie, I want to let you introduce this next one, mate, if that's all right.
I think Reap might have an opinion on something.
Oh, Reap,
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I've got to get. I'm gonna try and get it back.
You go what?
Try and get it back.
Yeah. I think Julesy actually deleted my question.
Yeah, my bad.
Can you Control Z? Control Z?
No, so it was basically what I was trying to say was at the moment for me personally, I'm gonna get your opinion on this as well. But personally for me, I haven't found I grew up on FPS shooters predominantly.
We all did, didn't we?
And you had a PlayStation, Reaper?
Yeah. Hell. So what I was gonna say was I haven't found a game recently like
it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Mate, it's gonna be the next Skull and Bones.
As of yet, I haven't found a game FPS wise where it's actually hit the sweet spot.
I 100% agree.
I said Esteban's coming, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. As of yet,
hasn't come out.
As of yet, I haven't found a sweet spot. So I was actually going to get you guys' opinion on that as well. Have you guys found that you don't have the desire to play FPS as much as you did, say, when Cold War was around or prior to Cold War?
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But do you believe that it's the game itself or a psychological issue that you're too grown up to spend 8 hours?
Definitely not. That's not.
You don't think Halo makes me want to do that, but at the same time, it doesn't have the 4 minute plus waits for games. Sometimes makes me not want to play.
It's like what I was gonna say was we've been playing like not FPS games. Like we played
playing a little bit of everything of late.
And
Age of Empires, that was a good time.
Age of Empires. Yeah.
I've actually enjoyed myself a little bit more lately playing non-FPS shooters. FPS. First person shooters, sorry.
No. FPS shooters are fair because you got third person shooters.
Yeah, so I
shooters,
just wanted to find your guys' opinion on that. Do you guys feel the same way as I'm feeling at the moment, or do you guys still have that urge to just jump on and pick the first FPS that you got?
That's gotta be obvious though, because FPSs are mainly online and they're competitive, right? You want to win.
Yep.
right? And Age of Empires is strategic, and yeah, you still want to win, but
I just want to build my wonder on Age of Empires.
that's exactly right.
Let me.
I just want to
Julian won't let
and
you.
have fun
Julian
with
won't
it.
let you.
I don't mind losing. And
keep
sure, I'm
saying
going
that.
to fucking churn 3 hours to build and then get fucked because Cookie builds his wonder first.
Easy dub.
And I feel, all right, I
Easy
gotta
dub.
go do it.
Easy
I gotta
dub.
go take care of it.
Saying that, Cookie, you've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft and a lot of League of Legends lately.
I have.
So do you find that you're leaning towards playing more MMO or RPG games more so than first-person shooters at this current stage?
So that's a very hard one because I think there's a lot of reasons for it. Like I used to compete in CS when I was a teenager. It was a lot easier then because it was only like 6 hours of school, and I'll be honest, I did fuck all at school.
Yep.
So I had energy when I got home to do that sort of stuff.
All those V drinks and being a child.
The Wickeds.
The Wickeds,
back in that day.
bro. Yeah. Yeah. Woolies, you'd go to the self serve and you'd fucking spin a can around, pay $2 for a 4-pack, bro. Get fucking 4
and a
4
fucking white can with this dragon going around it. Oh,
my fucking
best packaging I've seen for a drink.
ever.
Haven't seen something better. Anyway, or Wicked, if you're still a thing, we do need a sponsor.
Yeah, we need a sponsor. Wicked.
Fuck you guys.
Please drink it on stream.
Musashi. They sponsor the UFC. They're not sponsoring IGL podcast, alright?
No. Hey, Robert Whittaker is a gamer, so he's sponsored by Musashi.
Give me that Jake Paul Prime energy drink.
That's Logan Paul, you fucking
Who? Aren't they the same
Logan
person?
Paul.
The same person, right?
No, definitely not.
Which one was
Anyway.
in the Suicide Forest?
Logan.
That's Logan.
Logan.
You touch it.
Jake's the
No,
boxer.
that was ages ago. Logan's a boxer too. What are you talking? Maybe they are the same person.
But Jake's gone down the actual proper boxer
Which
route.
one has
Logan
blonde hair?
doesn't. Come on. They both do.
Logan's
see, the
Anyway.
same person.
Logan's at WrestleMania, bro.
Anyway.
I boxed already.
But then also, the game back then was a very good game. Like I competed in Counter-Strike and COD 4 Pro Mod. Obviously, it wasn't full-time, didn't have an income.
I wish I met you back then.
I competed. If we won, like if we placed in tournaments, we got money. But CSGO back then was fun. It was a good game. There wasn't anything to compete with it, and it was a good game. You'd find games in no time because the player base was ridiculously large. COD 4 Pro Mod, the community was fantastic in Australia. It made it easy. You could I transitioned from CS into COD, and the community was very, very opening, which was odd for a COD game.
COD 4 was diffy, but go on.
Yeah. But the games felt fun, and you weren't disappointed. You got what they said. Games nowadays, I think we've been disappointed too much. Like, you look at the past...
It's definitely more of a capitalist empire than it used to be.
Like, you look at the games that we've had in the past 3-4 years, and I'm not just meaning COD. I'm meaning shooters in general. Like, Valorant was fun for a bit, but then there was some issues in the Valorant game. And the community in Valorant became very toxic, especially the Oceania servers are very, very toxic.
I jumped in, like, obviously at that part you're talking about now, and they're so toxic. You do something wrong, they're yelling at you.
Like, if you're a newbie and you're jumping into a quick play or even a fucking Spike Rush game, you get absolutely flamed if you fucking do anything wrong.
It's a casual. I'm like, it's casual. Why are you yelling at me?
Yeah, it's Spike Rush. It's a fucking. It's not even a proper game mode. Like, it's. You have a gun selected for you. You have it's first to fucking 3 rounds or something. Like, why are you being so serious about it? You know.
I think the funnest fucking game that Ben told me was so toxic, and I was really surprised is when he played Dead by Daylight, which.
What?
Yeah, I think there's something different about
the most
community.
surprisingly toxic game I've ever played in my life. I could not believe it.
What a toxic fucking community.
Bro,
it just seems to be gaming scene these days. It's so strange.
What I'm going on about with the toxicity part is, it's fine if it's a high-ranked game and you're getting toxic about shit. I feel like that's fine because if you're in a high-ranked game, you should know what you're doing.
And there's a difference. I just want to jump in here. There's a difference between getting angry at your teammates and then consistently being toxic throughout a match.
For no fucking reason at all.
Yeah.
Like, but you try to play a new game nowadays, nowadays. And even if it's like fucking week 1 and you do something wrong and no one knows what they're doing, people are going to flame you nowadays for no fucking reason at all. Where League of Legends, I get that as well, and I don't play ranked. I play Aram, which is a mode for fun. Not many people actually talk in it, so there's not a lot of flaming. It's normally you're flaming the other. It's like old school COD lobbies where you're just shitting on the enemy team in chat rather than your own team.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm fine by that. Like if you're in a game, it doesn't matter what game, and you're shit talking the other team rather than your own team, I'm 100% fine with that. But it's when you turn on your own teammates, I don't like personally. Yeah. And I think that's come from playing competitive where you try to be a unit.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm just saying that's 100% what Jules does. He always turns on me, so.
Yeah. But we also just ignore Jules. So
let's give it right back to him anyway.
Fuck off, just move on. Anyway.
Yeah. But I think the other thing for us as well is like, I don't know about you boys, but I know when I competed, I didn't really have a group of friends that I played games with like you boys. Like. Aww. I'm not even meaning that in a sentimental way, so don't get too big-headed.
I pulled all the heartstrings in. You just pulled all the heartstrings in.
But just in the way where it's like, I enjoy playing games with you blokes, and it doesn't have to be competitive for me to play with you guys. Like, we can jump on Sea of Thieves, do whatever the fuck we want. We can go take down players or go do quests. Or we can play games within ourselves for Age of Empires. Like, I much prefer to get on games nowadays and play with you boys than play competitive. And I don't think that's to do with age. I think it's just to do with who we play with now more than anything.
I think there's a lot of factors. You can't rule off age. I think age is a big one. We just don't have
competitive. That's the thing.
We don't have the energy, even the mental energy now to deal with fucking Call of Duty lobbies with someone.
I think we
like if XFoam comes out and it's a fucking fantastic game, 100% we jump straight back into ranked on it, and we'll probably be playing that most nights. Let's be honest.
I agree, and I'll be like, we'll be doing that thing where we're stretching our sleep schedules way too hard and knowing that it's bad, but we're having a great time, and that's all that matters, you know?
That's exactly right. Like, okay, for the poor fuckers that have partners, then have fun with that. But hey, if you're single, then we're good.
Shit,
Cookie,
my girlfriend understands. My fiance understands.
Yeah. Actually,
Julie, I ain't gonna lie, Benny, that annoyed me when you did that like a few days after I left. I was like, fuck, I was going to congratulate you in person.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I just, it was reactionary, okay? I had a day how to do it.
But before we just move on, I just want to hear both Ben and Jules' opinion on that as well. Do you I wanted to hear more about what Jules you were saying about age. What do you want to go a bit more into depth in the age thing though, Jules?
Dude, it's just like I didn't do it, right? I have a very unique, not super unique, but unique to the group of guys, you guys, and everybody that we know, where I just didn't play online games and I wasn't competitive. I was chilling in single player fucking stories.
Wasting your time. Man, this motherfucker would have been in the CDL, bro. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God.
And the thing is, though...
that fucker, man.
The thing is,
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. He has the ability.
Bro, there's games that even when he plays, he absolutely smashes.
I'm glad I didn't.
Julian
and
is
it's
that
not because they
motherfucker.
don't look unhappy, but it just looks like it's so anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like I'm a happier person because I avoided that. But I'm a happier person because I didn't grow up, and you're like that nostalgia that you guys have. I just do not have, and I'm so much happier.
I don't have it for COD, but I do have it
anything.
For CS. I do have it for CS, which is annoying. That's why I can't go back and play CS nowadays.
We have the skills, right? That's the thing. It's not the age. I don't think Julian means by we don't have the skills anymore by age, right?
No, not the reaction time, but just like the mental energy. They're like, the needs is like, oh man, I miss my friends from school. Now I can play games. You know, that's all you want to do. And now it's like, maybe I do want to watch fucking One Piece with my fiance. Yeah. You know, we can do that and it's chill. We don't have to wait. Like it's a different time as well.
I 100% agree with that.
We don't have to wait until a fucking One Piece comes out on Cartoon Network or whatever. You know, you had to wait for a certain time. Now you can just watch it whenever you want. You can do whatever you want whenever you want, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like the mental energy is not the same. I just like if I played it back then and people were playing COD the way that they are now back then, I probably could deal with it. I could deal with it 5 to 10 times more than what I can now. Now I'm just like, fuck these cunts.
I think Ben, you can agree, but especially when you have a fiance now, you've kind of got to balance yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, the balance comes naturally. I feel it's been long enough time that I've been with my girlfriend slash fiance. It's the balance has become natural, and she's like the good part about her is I think she'll be vocal if I'm spending too much time on the game, which I do appreciate because sometimes I do just get stuck into it. Like whether it's gaming, making videos, just being in my own world. Sometimes I just get stuck in it. So she lets me know, when I am too stuck in it, which I do appreciate because I am the one just to get sucked into it,
Yeah,
we all are.
Yeah. And it's hard to find that balance. As having a other significant other, it's fucking hard to find that balance. But if you find the right girl that's willing to put up with your shit, then she'll let you spend an hour and a half so far on a podcast.
when you marry her. That's when you marry her.
That's when you marry her, 100%.
No wonder I'm still.
And I spent 5 years trying to put a fucking not deciding to put a ring on it.
I think there's more reasons than that, Cookie.
I think on the age thing, if we cared as much about Modern Warfare 2 as we did Cold War, that we would be playing it just as much as we did Cold War.
Oh no! Look, it's not the only factor. It's not black and white. There's so many factors, but I feel like that's a big one. We're moving forward. These games seem to be stuck in a rant, and we just can't be bothered to deal with this bullshit. I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to wait 2 years or a year for another Call of Duty. And it's like, oh look, we made a good game again, guys. Yeah. Enjoy. Don't pre-order the next one.
Yeah, I made a point. I haven't finished the video yet. I'm halfway through it, but I made a point of saying like, fuck, I lost it. Ah, fuck.
It will be good again.
Yeah, Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 2019, regardless if you love it or hate it, made a stagnant franchise, gave a stagnant franchise new life. And I think.
Sorry, Benny.
I think I think a lot of people expected that with Modern Warfare 2, but it hasn't happened.
No, it was a big jump.
My opinion on 2019 is I think it was actually detrimental to the Call of Duty franchise because of how good it was.
Oh, I wouldn't even say that. I think it's just brought gameplay mechanics into the game that has actually worsened it in the long run.
Okay, I'm going down a very different path.
Taking out Slide, I definitely have an issue with that. It's like you're just making your game worse with decisions.
I honestly think 2019 could have been the best Call of Duty if there was just a rank system, which I know I said last time.
It is. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong.
But I think that also rose our hopes for the following games afterwards, which has made it feel even worse.
Yeah.
Like, if 2019 wasn't as good as it was, I don't think Cold War, Vanguard, and this one would have hurt as much with how bad it is.
If Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer, right, wasn't so popular, I don't even think we'd have a multiplayer COD anymore. I think it'd just be fucking Warzone. Honestly, I think it'd be Warzone with shipment in it so you could grind your guns. I think that's what they want.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's what they want, man. Honestly, and they take out any mechanic that makes it too like any advanced movement mechanic you can use. They took out. I reckon snaking's next to go, man. I honestly think they're going to figure out a way to. If snaking pops off, bro. Yeah, but what advanced movement mechanics are going to be left, Cookie? What is going to separate us from the fucking scrubs?
As someone that only has aim, I'll happily go back to that stage.
Hey, this is a question. All right, well, I want to get into the next topic because we've spent a lot of time on this, but I just want to go around the table starting with Cookie. I'm just going to, because my pictures are, I'm just going to go Cookie, Reaper, Julian. What's worse, snaking or slide cancelling? Cookie, go.
Snaking.
Reaper.
Slide cancelling.
Jules.
Snaking.
Yeah, I think it's snaking all day. I think snaking is cheesy as fuck.
I'm biased being a mouse and keyboard player. It's a lot harder to do.
Yeah, so I just, fuck that shit off.
Nah, I was console player, so my thumbs were fucked from slide cancelling.
I agree with you all day, but Reaper, snaking doesn't take any more button presses than slide cancelling.
Yeah.
What is it? It's prone, right? Prone. So you almost drop to the ground. A run. Prone A run. Prone A run. Prone A run. It's the same as slide cancelling.
Which same 3 button?
Almost. Yeah. Very close. Very
same amount of buttons.
Anyway, I want to go on to this next one because it's actually a pretty fun topic. But that was another good one, guys. Well done. Cookie, introduce this one. If you see the thing, I've highlighted it.
I'm gonna do a transition for us. So, for me personally, with Reap's question about multiplayer and FPS games going to like casual games. For me, games now are a relaxant. And a game that I have been finding quite relaxing of late is Pokemon.
He's killing it tonight.
I like your other ones.
You don't even play Pokemon. Shut up, Julian.
Yeah.
Just on that topic, I've started playing Pokemon Go again. I fucking love it.
Yeah, Reap, add me.
100%.
Fuck off. Anyway.
Go's not my favorite, but I'm too high a level to.
So, with the new Pokemon, there was a Gen 1 Pokemon that finally got an evolution, which was Primeape. Now, I can't remember what the Primeape evolution now is, but it is a ghost fighting fucking thing.
The word's typing? Is that type is the word you're looking for?
Annihilate is what it's called.
Okay, Annihilate.
And yes. Okay. And it's not Ghost, it's fighting in Ghost. It is an odd Pokemon, I'll be honest, but it got me thinking. It's taken 27, I think Pokemon was released on the year I was born, roughly, or like a year in between. So whatever my age is, which is too hard to count on the amount of fingers and toes everybody
you're like
has.
37, aren't you, Cookie?
Oh, shut up. I'm feeling it. In that it's been that long for this Pokemon to get an evolution. Now, there is quite a few Pokemon that don't have an evolution and aren't legendary Pokemons.
Yeah, if you pick a legendary Pokemon, you're cheese.
Yeah, doesn't count because they're obviously top of the evolution of what it could be anyway. So that's a different question, which would be what needs a pre-evolution. But for my question is, what Pokemon needs an evolution?
I've always said this. I always thought Ditto should have an evolution. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but Ditto is one of my favorite Pokemon. One. I've always thought Ditto needs an evolution for no reason whatsoever other than it's my favorite Pokemon. One of my favorite Pokemon. I
personally have two. Mine would be a Gen 1 Pokemon, which is a very, very well-loved Pokemon, and it was in the TV series. Lapras.
Pikachu.
Yeah, Lapras,
Meow.
I would love to see a Lapras evolution.
What can it evolve to, though?
It's a turtle, so it could evolve into, sort of a turtle. Well, it's a turtle with a long neck.
Yeah, what could it evolve into?
But no one would have expected Primeape to evolve into what it's evolved into. My other one, which is my all-time favorite Pokemon, it's only got the one evolution, which is from its baby form into its adult form, and now it's a lot of other ones getting in a form on top. Like you've got Rhydon going into Rhyperion, I can't say his fucking name. Like you've got like that sort of evolution. I would love to see Lucario get another evolution on top.
You love that motherfucker.
I would love to see an evolved version of Lucario because I think it would be absolutely fucking badass.
I had the two as well. I would love to see. I would love to see Taurus get a.
Oh, that's a good
evolution,
shout.
Or Aerodactyl.
No, Aerodactyl don't count as a fossil Pokemon. No.
I like.
Yeah, man, it'd just be a bigger pink blob. What do you want from me, bro? Okay.
It evolves. It just picks what it wants to evolve into.
At least it doesn't get made by a fossil, bro. Okay.
That's my Gen 1 picks. But if I was going,
go on. Sorry, my bad.
If I was going on for different gens, I would have seen said Sableye. I think doesn't have a evolution.
Sableye definitely needs an evolution. My most recent one that I would love an evolution for that isn't an OG one, Skarmory.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got a single form, and I would love to see it evolve into like something absolutely fucking gigantic and just like blades fucking everywhere. I think it would be sick.
How does Shuckle not have an evolution? That is a question to me. How does Shuckle not have an evolution? It seems
because I think they made him and then they completely forgot about it.
Yeah, that's true. It just seems prime for an evolution, and same with Heracross here. It just seems
Heracross
prime
is a
for an
good
evolution.
Yeah, Heracross is a very.
You've also got like Pinsir. They never got an evolution.
Yeah, see, I thought Pinsir would have got an evolution when Sarthy got an evolution.
Yeah. No.
So I want an evolution for Torkoal, but I just don't know where it's going to go. You know?
Do you know what I just think would be a funny evolution? Miltank.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Miltank evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miltank and a Taurus evolution, and they're like fucking combine. Like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh fusion. I was in the shower and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, that'd be an interesting thought.
This is a solid topic Julian can't add in.
That is a weird shout for it.
I have a lot of weird shower thoughts, just 90% of them can't go into a podcast that we stream.
I'll give you a good answer, which is a joke because I know nothing about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Shock.
Ash. He's red, right?
He had an evolution.
Ash
in the
is
most
red,
recent
right? That's not my
TV
answer.
series.
That's not my answer.
My answer is Mew 3.
Ooh, I could see it happening though. I could see it happening. I agree with Jules. I could see it happening. I'll give Jules that. That's actually a good point. They're trying to do I know they don't need it, right? But they're trying to do a fresh reboot of the Pokemon series now with a new protagonist, right? Why not Mew 3?
Didn't they finally cut off Ash?
Yeah,
because he finally won He finally won.
Yeah.
Wait, he's gonna be a dad? He's gonna be? He's not like
one
new
protagonist.
Wow.
Okay, I'd love to see who the mummies. You've got like a choice.
Misty. It's gotta be Misty. It has to be Misty, bro. No, but if they want a nostalgia bait, right? Think about it this way: as kids, we grew up watching Ash and Misty for the first time, right? Yeah. Biggest nostalgia bait, best thing they could possibly do is make Ash and Misty the dad and mum.
Yeah. See, Brock and Misty works better, I think.
No,
is Doc Oak still alive? Or Professor Oak?
His son will be the new Doc. Doc Ock, bro. He came back. Remember, he's a good guy now.
They're playing Spider-Man, right?
Professor
Oak.
All right. We are like really far through this. I didn't think we are gonna get this much time out of these topics, but Reaper, I think you should head the next one up, bro.
What's up?
You should head the next topic up.
All right, I'm fucking different.
No, this is still COD related. It's not esports part.
Yeah, we're not up to esports. Shut the fuck up.
Which one? Oh, about your last podcast.
Fortnite.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Yeah, go on.
Let's just segue. That's my segue for you.
So I watched your last podcast from last week, and it got me thinking about what you said about Fortnite. My opinion is that the mechanics of Fortnite has stayed the same, and they always are refreshing the map, like refreshing the map. So there's always different points of interest. The game modes are always changing. Where COD has tried to make a completely new game, with completely new mechanics. They've kept the same sort of game modes. Like, I would have loved to see a sandbox in COD, where you can just create your own game mode and just play with mates. It's a completely different spin on things.
Yeah, I agree.
We personally probably would have done better for the developers and the company as whole, because you could create a map and they could just steal it and not have to pay you.
Yeah. Well, look, I get what COD did, and they try to bring back the old, like the slower play style of the earlier CODs. But to me, I just think they just completely ruined the game. I think they've tried to do too much to the game, where they've tried different mechanics in Warzone, in even just playing multiplayer. They've tried different mechanics and it hasn't worked. But I think the reason why Fortnite has thrived so much is because they've kept the same mechanics. Like, I can jump back on Fortnite and still know how to play the game. It's just going to be different points of interest.
Obviously, they have updated the engine and some of the mechanics too. Actually, Julian, we can attest to this. A lot of mechanics
has changed.
Julian, can you attest to your thoughts on?
Like, I would say that the mechanics of Fortnite have changed. Like, oh man, it's hard for us to like compare, because we played the no build mode, right? So the whole aspect of the game was, mine shit, build with that shit, and then shoot people and try and be the last one alive, right? And it's still that. But it's just shoot people and try and be the last one alive, loot and shoot people.
Julian clutched up the other day. Fucking clutched.
It's still, yeah. But
and the whole thing is like they've been updating it. Like, initially you couldn't revive your teammates; it was just one and done. Now you can, right? And you can do it as many times.
That's I think a little bit different to what Ray.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though, Jules.
The general feel of everything is the same.
The feel of the game is the same. It's just that they've added that new game mode where it's no build.
I wouldn't even say.
Yeah, but it's more than that, though. The thing is, when Fortnite has made its changes, they worked well. They released a Spider-Man Mythic Glove, and it was fun. And
we don't need to talk about fucking sword in season 1, though.
But what I'm trying to say is they haven't changed like how to slide. They haven't changed.
Well, that's the
how to
thing. They
jump.
added slide.
Yeah,
That's the thing. The slide wasn't originally in the game.
I think you're both saying the same thing, to be honest. I think Reaper's trying to say that it's the same. It's the same game that always works, right? And Julian's trying to say the new stuff that they keep bringing into the game always works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Call of Duty does, like, it's still the same fundamentals of point and shoot, you know, hard point has always been hard point, dom has always been dom, right? They haven't really changed that hugely.
They changed hard point to the point where it's not just 5. Like, you look at Mikado, there's like 8, 9 fucking points now.
But that changes map to map, right? But the thing is,
you also look at, they've changed spawn locations, they've changed how people play the game. You had to change your whole mindset on how to play the game.
And also, they make you pay $80 for every time they change the game.
Exactly.
And the UI is fucking ass.
It's like, no, it's bad. I think it's more bad business decision as well, where they went, all right, we're going to get rid of advanced movement, but we're going to keep tactical sprinting. We want it to feel like Call of Duty 4, but you can run really fucking fast. And you're not dealing with 30 FPS, you're dealing with 120 FPS. Like, it's not the same because they brought shit in and then they taken other shit away. And it's just the whole mess of it. Each mechanic just doesn't work as nicely of what Fortnite has done, where I feel like they've thought more about it. They've thought about a mechanic, they tested it. You know, if it didn't work, they locked it away in a vault. They literally called it the vaults.
Yeah.
I think the big difference between the two is a lot of what you say, Jules, is correct, where it's like they test stuff. You know who they get to test it? Is the people that are putting 16, 18 hours a day into the game. They're getting the pros, they're getting the big streamers to test it, to get a feel. They're getting their feedback, and they're going with what the feedback is. Where COD, they get them to test, they get the feedback, they don't listen to the feedback.
Just ignore it.
They completely ignore it.
Like, are fucking terrible. Oh, we're going to keep him in.
Let's buff him even fucking more.
We need red dots on the minimap. Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Well, you said the flashbangs were bad? Oh, that's all right. We'll make tactical bad.
Apparently, they've come out with a tweet saying that they've listened to us.
Yeah, never heard Call of Duty say that before. Never, bro.
But that's so fresh. That's where it comes down. That's the big thing is that, and then a little bit of a minor thing is the difference between Fortnite and COD is a very minor thing in comparison to the listening to the feedback. But the changes they're doing to the game are to improve rather than to fix. So Fortnite's new changes they're bringing in, whether it's the sliding, the no build, it's to give it a different feel, to kind of revamp it a little bit, to make it more interesting, to change it a little bit. Where Fortnite's, Call of Duty's new stuff is to fix the issues that are in the game rather than to like revamp it, make it a little bit different. It's just to completely fix issues that they've got in the game. And 90% of the time, they're making the issues worse.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's just what I found anyway.
Yeah, cool. We went back, played Fortnite, and everything you just said is really holds water. We dropped in the map. We didn't know where the fuck we were going. Everything's new guns. Like my nephew, right? He's like 11 or something. We're asking him what's good, you know, like yeah. It's funny because like we're usually the people are like other people that don't play the game ask, and it's weird being like, "Oi, Bailey, what's the best gun? What is this gun?" Oh yeah, it was a DMR. I think it was a DMR. I was like, "Oh dude, there's a purple DMR." He's like, "That's doo-doo." I was like, "All right, sick. It's like, doo-doo."
Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah, it's poo-poo. Yeah, don't pick that up. It's poo-poo. I was like, "All right, cool. Thanks, man. Like, no worries." But it's fun always just going back every now and again to see what's different. Interesting game Fortnite. Really, they made a really good job. They made it really well, and I understand why it's so popular still to this day. But Reap, what do you got here about montages? I just want to know what's this?
Well, no, it was gone back, saying like to the point where you were saying, Cookie, a little bit about the toxicity in games. I find that the COD community kind of died off a little bit because of the toxicity. I think that the toxicity kept a lot of people around. Okay. I think it was that the old school montages and the toxicity actually kept the community. Like people were coming on to play COD just to have the banter and shit talk against people or against their own team. It was fun for them. Now I think that the toxicity has kind of killed COD because you get banned for racial slurs.
You've got to fucking
back then
boxes about fucking code of conduct now before you even fucking look.
Back then there was nothing about that shit. You could go in and say ridiculous things.
Did you guys not see the Warzone chat when you first dropped?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? I don't think people got banned for that.
But back then, it wasn't a safety chat.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a safety chat now, man. Like, not voice anyway, but I just think you can be toxic without being, I don't know, overtly racially abusive. And I think that showed in Modern Warfare 2019, to be honest. I feel like that was like what you would say is a safe chat, right? For a majority of the time. But that game was still toxic to the point where it kept me coming back every night, you know? Search and Destroy in that game is literally God tier. Probably one of the most God tier searches ever.
That's my point, though. That is my point. That toxicity kept you coming back every night.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to
swim. It's
swim
very
that
different
cesspool.
Toxicity nowadays. Like we play Mosh Pit, and the shit we get in sometimes in the middle of the rounds, like in between rounds, is just people yelling.
Yeah,
it's just like a single voice, like noise.
Yeah, but I didn't say in Cold War that toxicity was there and it was like raw. You know what I mean? Especially in ranked.
I'd argue Cold War was a very good game though.
Yeah, but it made me want to. It made me want to fucking grind. It made me want to tell people they were shit. I actually have a video on my channel. It's one of my earlier videos from when I started doing them, more like one of my shorts, and it's this guy emoting on me and calling me dog shit, right? And then I back to back 1v4 them. You know, like. It fires me up, that shit, man.
It was even the first game I think I played with you guys. I think it was a 1v3 that Julesy played. And he smashed them, and the shit talk that came out of Julesy's mouth up against the other team just made me want to come back again and go, fuck.
So funny. Because my go-to is usually,
although in Vanguard, it was like vote Labour. Vote Labour, vote Albo 2022.
Yeah.
But just by you doing that, got the other team like riled up to go at you, and that made the competitive nature go, no, we're not losing to these guys, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just, I think that's kind of died a lot over the recent years, though.
That's I'd agree. Like, I think the most toxicity we had in Vanguard was when they saw Julesy's name, because it was vote Labour or vote
Labour, vote Green.
Yeah, that was the most toxicity we had. And if it wasn't for Julesy's name being that, the only toxicity we ever had was just trying to rile Julesy up so we'd play well. Most of the toxicity was just it was us like shit talking Julesy.
It worked in Titanfall the other day, bro.
It worked all the time. That's why we used to do it. He'd go from just talking shit in chat to being dead quiet and absolutely fucking frying.
Yeah, but that's a great question for Jules, because when he's getting shit talk against him, he picks up. How do you feel about that, Julie, now, though? Like, back in the day when you were playing, did you find it?
Look, I don't think it's gone. I don't think it's gone completely. I think it's gone from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because we don't play it. And when we do play it, we play this garbage fucking garbage. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. If we had a rank, we would talk shit. I would change my name to fucking Kanye Quest or some fucking shit, right? I would do something controversial to get people amped up. Because I know that I would be like, oh, if I have a stupid name, that's going to amp them up. And them amping up is going to amp me up. And then it's just going to be a fun time all around.
Yeah, but does that toxicity make you feel like you want to get amped up, though?
Of course. How could it not? It's something primal in our brains. Like, it's weird to say, but yeah, it is. Like, if someone calls you out or insults you, you're like, no, you know what? Fuck you! I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm the other way around though. Like, you guys know, every game I play, I say I'm the shittest player.
Yeah.
Regardless of the game, like even playing COD, I'll say I'm trash.
Which
Yeah,
is
but
ironic
I feel like
because
it's a
you've probably
different
been our
issue.
most consistent player in Search Mosh Pit.
You are very consistent, Reaper, and I feel like it's just because you feel like you're letting us down. Which just, I think it's a different mentality than toxicity. It's just you don't believe in your own ability.
Nah, not one bit actually.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's
a
still
big mentality
toxicity
thing.
there. It's just not a toxicity to others. It's a toxicity to yourself.
There's something every time, like, I think I'm so good in those 1v something moments, like, because I know in my head that I'm going to win this, and I'm like, as soon as I win it, I'm going to be talking the maddest shit. And the fact that I know that I just, it's like something primal in my brain goes off that I'm the only one left. There's no one else I can rely on. Let me just quickly get this 1v3 and talk the most shit I possibly can. Like, it's something in my brain that just, as soon as it's a 1v whatever, I'm just the best player in the lobby. I don't know what it is. It doesn't happen in the hard point. It doesn't happen in hard point.
Yeah.
No, but that clutch or kick moment is always going to be defining. But it's always like, Reaper, you got to have the mindset. It's not about factual or truth or not. It's like you just got to think, I am the best.
I am the best
in this moment.
Yeah.
You don't have any doubt, no doubt at all, and you will perform.
Fucking crack
always.
the fingers.
It's no
stuff's coming out,
different to
boys,
when
stuff's
you
coming
would have
out.
asked your missus out. Like, you wouldn't have been thinking, no, I'm the worst guy out there. She's not going to say yes.
No, my shit didn't dig, bro. I was God's best gift to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think like that in
This is the
COD.
mindset. Yeah.
Like, I
It
know,
doesn't have to be
if we're
true,
playing
it doesn't have to
Search
be
and some
factual.
fuckers snipe me on the first round,
Yeah.
I know I'm fucking dumpstering that kid the next round with a
Oh
sniper.
yeah, that's revenge plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I've got the mouse and keyboard. I can shoot faster.
Yeah. Don't call
like,
me
I
shit.
remember his name.
Yeah. Don't call me shit one round, right? And then leave me in a 1v3. It's over. I win, dude. Instantly.
Just like it's exactly like you have it in you because I've heard it when some cunts killed you with an M4. You're like, oh, this fucker's using a G8 weapon. He's pulling out my M4. Like I've heard you say it. I know it's in there.
It's somewhere. It's buried.
Yeah,
but
we got to pull it out. We got to pull that mongrel out of you.
Yeah, well, maybe
We got to pull
after
the
this
Aussie
one,
part
maybe
out of you. Stop being the nice Spanish boy.
we might jump on some Halo.
The thing is, I don't believe it's gone. I feel like it's just because, like, even Halo, we can't shit talk to each other.
Hey,
like,
Jules, the other day I yelled at you so bad, right? And then we won back. I came back and we won straight away. But straight away after that,
Yeah, that was
right? But that's passion. That's straight
That one was
passion.
like, where was the fucking call out?
Yeah.
Like, oh, fucking don't yell,
Yeah,
mate.
hey, but that's not. I'm
I
not
know
angry
it's
at
a
him.
little
I'm
bit
just
of a-
straight passion, right? Like that's just like fuck, man. If we did that, we would have won better. But then we're straight back to calls, right? I didn't fuck
but
around.
The thing is, I've never actually heard Julesy get pissed. He'll be like, you'll be
so
screaming at him, and he'll be like, he was behind you.
Yeah,
It'll be something so stupid.
he gets pissed off
but
at
it'll
me.
be like,
Trust.
He
I
gets pissed off at me sometimes too.
I just find that he goes silent. He just won't talk.
No. He talked back to me, bro. He thinks he's better than me and shit. It's weird.
Although I
No,
think
no,
the only time
you're
I've
wrong.
really
I
made
don't think
Julesy
I'm
angry
better
is
than
when
you. I know I'm better. Check yourself.
That's not what the time for scoreboard was saying the other day, bro. I feel like every game we'll win and I was up there, bro. So that's
see
all
that
I'm gonna say.
fucking
That's all I'm
first
gonna
game?
say, bro. That's
the
whatever.
easiest way to make
Did you not see
Julesy
the
angry is
second
you
game,
kill
bro?
him. Your team kill him. I've done that a few times. He gets mad at you. He shoots you.
Because I was going to carry you and you team killed me and now I can't.
Yeah, and now I've learnt that headshots kill when they've got no shield. I'm actually doing really good.
That is something that's actually nicking at me that you're better at Halo.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can't have that.
Now, speaking of, we touched on ranked a little
I'm
bit.
gonna let you run
and
through this, Cookie. I'm gonna let you just run
esports?
through this.
Before I start my wrap, actually, we'll do CDL at the last because that's probably what we've got the most opinion on. But before we deep dive into esports as a whole, now this one's more aimed at you, Reap, because you're into your sport as well, just like myself.
Yeah.
We have a big event happening in Australia mid to end of this year, don't we? For women's sport.
Yep.
The FIFA Women's World Cup is being held in
In New
conjunction
Zealand.
between us and New Zealand.
I didn't know about
Yep.
this.
Now, they just released the official ball of the World Cup as of, I think it was yesterday. And I actually got to see it in person this afternoon. I walked past Rebel and they had it nice on display out the front. It looks a very nice ball. Now, have you seen it, Reap?
I'm just typing it up.
So I will throw it up on my stream if there is anybody in chat so they have context.
That is actually a nice ball.
It is a very nice ball. Now, I don't know if there is any... Normally, they'll have, like, a reason why they've chosen... Okay, here you go. Inspired by the unique natural landscapes of the two host nations. It's a blue... I'm assuming it's to do with the sea because it's blue and yellow and black. And
really? You really think that... Oh, no, that's 2019, my bad. It's still pretty mid. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty mid.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I don't love it.
I think
in comparison to the Qatar World Cup, the men's Qatar one, that shit's on this one.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's a nice ball. It's not great. I thought they could have done more. I don't like the blue, yellow, and black. I thought between Australia and New Zealand, they could have picked a nicer color scheme for the ball.
Would you think it would be the colors of the flag?
Yeah,
kind of is.
Yeah, like a blue, red, white, black sort of thing.
Kind of
both,
blue, red, and white though.
Yeah, because of both flags being very, very similar. I would have liked to see some stars on it.
Yeah, 100%. I thought when you mentioned
a Southern Cross or something.
A Southern Cross, both flags got that. Yeah.
Something like that. I would have liked to see. I agree with Benny on this. Mid
tier, yeah.
I've seen worse. I've seen a lot better.
But see, I also like the 1999 World Cup, like men's World Cup ball, a lot better. I like the basic look of the ball instead of having too much to it.
That's fair. I quite like the little bit more eccentric ones personally. They look really nice when you get like the free kicks and they curl.
But if you look at like the FIFA Nova from I think it was 2003, the females World Cup ball.
2002,
that was
2, I believe.
Yeah, 2002. Oh,
is that the one that's like looks like a Beyblade?
Yeah. See, I like the simplicity of that.
That's fair. I like that as well. That is a very nice ball. But yeah, I saw that and I just wanted your opinion on that, Rick, because I know you quite like football as well as I do.
Yeah, well, fucking hot takes. I don't think Australia's gonna make.
I don't think we get out of groups. But actually, no, that is a hot take.
No, we will get out of groups. We won't get out of. We won't make finals.
I think if we do bad at the Cup of Nations, which is coming up in 2 months, as like a prelude to the World Cup.
But in saying that,
if we do bad at that, I think we'll do good at the World Cup. If we do good at the Cup of Host of Nations or whatever the fuck it's called, I think we do bad at the World Cup.
Look, in saying that though, bringing up some older news on soccer. Sorry, Ben, but the men's Australian team performed extremely well for what they did.
Yeah, and then fucking Melbourne Victory, Melbourne City go and fucking ruin it.
Nobody knows what that is.
I was so close to being at that game as well. I'm so glad I didn't fucking go.
You should have gotten a punch up there. It would have been awesome. Great story for the podcast.
That's just my take on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I agree as well. We got final 16. We're top 16 in the world.
Yeah, I know.
We're like one of the only teams that went to the World Cup that soccer's / football isn't their main sport in their country.
Wasn't it the first time that we got out of got out of the group stages since 2004?
Yes, 6
or 2006. That's it.
06, yeah. We've only been out of groups twice. Anyway,
we don't want to I actually want to jump in. I got one more topic because Julian's going to bounce,
absolutely,
but I want to get him into this. What does Australia Day mean to you guys?
Public holiday.
Reaper?
I was on the same ball, bro.
Julian.
Julesy said he'll be back.
Okay. He's probably left because he's going to talk about podcasts. I don't know.
What about you, Benny?
There's a big talk about like the whole Invasion Day shit, and I know you don't want to get political and stuff, but look, I just want everyone to have a good Australia Day.
100%.
I think we should think of the horrors and issues that we've had in the past, but at the same time, I think we should all get together, throw a couple snags on the barbie, and drink piss till we throw up a lot. Yeah,
and then not go to work on Friday.
I think that's an invite to go to bed tomorrow.
I think it's un-Australian to go to work on Friday, and I have to, so that's un-Australian.
Yeah. I have to as well.
I snagged the day off. I think that's an invite to Ben's house tomorrow.
Yeah,
let me just
pick a paint roller up. Come join me painting, bro. I'm painting tomorrow, so.
We could maybe join me and Josie on the thieving seas.
Yeah, happy Australia Day to everyone tomorrow, man.
Enjoy the day off. Have a beer. Have a snack.
Yep. And
be with family, bro. That's all the best thing is. You can be with family, just enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, I think if anything you get out of tomorrow, man, just remember that we live in the fucking greatest country in the world.
100%. 100%.
Anyway, let's get into the esports news, eh?
Speaking of free, Scump, free from his responsibilities of being a athlete. Before we go on the... actually, you know what? We'll save that for last because we'll do CDL, as I did mention before, we'll do CDL last. To start with, this weekend, the Australian League of Legends, the LCO, I think it's called, or the LCO, something like that, starts back up for Australia anyway. I think some of the other regions have returned already. But it is, unfortunately, it's not done by Riot anymore, unlike the major ones. It's done by a third-party organisation. But we still get to represent Australia on the world stage, whoever does win. Now, my personal pick for who to watch out for, I would be very shocked if the Chiefs Esports Club, one of the biggest esports organisations in Australia, if you haven't heard of them, you probably haven't watched esports. Definitely my favourites to win. I would argue there's probably no one even close to them. They absolutely wiped the floor with every team last year, and they basically demolished the grand final. I can't see anybody getting any close to them. They'll go to, I think it's the MSI Mid-Season Invitational, and they'll probably get smoked over there like we always do. But it'll be a nice experience for them.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to another MOBA, Dota 2, the majors got announced for 2023. Every single major will be in a different continent, and they're going to some very interesting places which I've not seen really a major for any other esports title head to. So they're going to Lima, the capital of Peru, Bali in Indonesia.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And Berlin, which is a fan favorite for pretty much any esport. If you don't go to Berlin, you're probably stupid if you're in an esport.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, facts. For the Aussie watch for Dota, the only one of note would be Anna, who's one of the most winningest Dota 2 for prize money anyway. Players in the world. He's won 2 TIs for OG, and he recently returned and played for T1 in qualifiers for the league over there, which I can't remember off the top of my head. He did re-announce his retirement pre-Christmas, but a lot of the time he will come out of the woodwork for TI. Now, I would love to see him return. I think it's awesome we've had an Australian in such a major esports title be so successful. Doesn't happen often. I'd love to see him return for some of the majors, especially the Bali one. You can buy a flight from Australia to Bali for like $300.
If that.
So I'd love to see him return, and if he does, I hope he does well. T1 kind of flopped a little bit, but I'd love to see him return. I think it's cool that they got into different places. Like Peru, Bali, you don't see that very often for majors. I think it's cool. They're expanding. I like it personally.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Sticking with big esports video games, Valorant. They start their new franchise season this year, the VCT. They have the EMEA, they have the Korean League, and then they have the North American. For anybody that doesn't know, EMA is Europe, Middle Eastern, and African, I think. Arabic, like one of the two. Arabic. I think it's something like that. There's no Aussies in any of the VCT teams, unfortunately. But we all know Valorant's not huge. I mean, it's a big game in Australia. We're just not very good at it competitively, unfortunately. No different to CS, unfortunately. But my picks for the different regions. So APAC, which is Asia Pacific. It's basically just Korean and the Thailand and Philippines teams. My pick for that would be T1. Anybody that watches esports probably knows T1. For EMEA, I'm going to pick Team Liquid. They did very well towards Worlds. I think they got top 4 at Worlds last year. For Valorant, whatever, I can't remember what the Worlds is called. But they got top 4 for that. And I would have to pick probably either the Brazilian guys of Loud or the 100T squad. Looks very strong for the North American region. I think the North American region will be the closest region out of the three, and I think it'll be some banging games in the North American region.
Just quickly, I would have loved to see an Optic win last year.
I would love to see Optic in VTT.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of shooters, we're going to CSGO. The first big major of CSGO, IEM Katowice. A very, very well-known CSGO event. One of the most looked forward to, as it is one of the earliest majors of any game through the year. Starts on February 2nd. The play-ins, which is kind of like groups before they actually get to the stage, start on January 31st. We do have an Aussie team over there for the play-ins in Greyhound. They have struggled to get out of the play-ins in the most recent couple of majors. But we do also have an Aussie on Mouse, who they did get it out of the play-ins in the most recent event, which was IEM Rio. They got top 8. They did very, very well, and he's the shot caller for him. So he's head man in that one besides coach, but he's been doing really well, and I'd like to see them do very well, and I'd like to see Greyhound get down to play-ins, hopefully. But yeah, that starts January 31st. That's a good one I'm looking forward to. They do have some other qualifiers in that beforehand, but that's CSGO events still bang after, but they still pull fantastic numbers for how old the game is. It's actually phenomenal with how much they can still fucking pull numbers on that. And the crowds that they get at the actual events are fantastic and absolutely go off. And last but not least, Halo. We've got the first major, which is a kickoff event in Charlotte. That'll be February 24, 26. At this stage, there's no Aussies going to it. We did have an Aussie on one of the HCS teams, G2, but they got rid of their squad, and there is no information on if they have re-signed anybody.
World Championship 2A. That's really sad.
Top 8, I think. Top 8.
I mean, for their squad, I don't.
He was frying as well. The Aussie barcode was absolutely frying in that team. Top Slayer in that team. So I hope he gets picked up.
Shout out to Manda Chicken.
But there'll be more details probably a bit closer. But I'm excited for that one. I really enjoyed watching the Halo events last year.
Let's go formal, bro. Let's go formal.
Yep. So that'll be good to watch. Definitely will be watching that one. So, and unsure if there's going to be any qualifiers for other regions to get teams over there. I'm hoping so. But yeah, that's pretty much it besides COD. But speaking of other regions getting to events, I linked you a Facebook post, Benny, didn't I? Or not linked, I screenshotted it, about an Aussie team going to a certain video games major happening in Boston.
Oh, yes, I do. Now, I remember now, yes. Mindfreak is going to be at the Boston Major, right, for the Pro-Am?
Yeah. The Challenges part of it.
Challenges Cup.
So, big up the Mindfreak boys. They've been a very, very long team that's been heavily invested in the COD scene in Australia for a 100%. long time.
We always
Mindfreak back in the day. I used to love watching them on World War II. Yep. That was the first kind of COD I really watched competitively outside of Pro Mod.
I mean, you fried that one Mindfreak bloke in City on Mosh Pit at 2 a.m, so that's what I'm going off for that, so...
Yeah, search. Okay. Boston. If they allowed mouses and keyboards anyway. But anyway.
But hey. Another lifetime, man.
Fingers crossed for them. I hope they do well. I hope there's a bit of a stream. I'd love to see some of the Mindfreak games, especially they get top 4 or higher. I'd love to watch some. Yep. Before that, it can get a bit hard to watch because there's so many games and not very many streams for the challenges,
it's hard
unfortunately.
To figure out what's happening there.
Yeah. But also, speaking of Aussies at CDL, Pred. Boy needs some help.
Yeah, the boy needs some help.
Boy needs some help in Seattle.
My God, does he need some help?
Sib's been helping every now and then.
Yep.
When he does help, he helps a lot. But the main thing I want to talk about, Pred, isn't actually about Seattle. There was talk about him going to a specific team just before this major started.
Yeah. Reaper, you want to go?
Yeah. The talks were that he was going to go to Optic, but they couldn't get the deal across the line. I think that the Optic guys are a bit disappointed in the way the business was conducted with Seattle. They met numerous times on payment, and they kept on upping the price. Is from what I have gathered.
What I heard, that's what Hex said. Got to take the man at his word.
But then, in saying that, it's a two-way story